Welcome to TCH Live Poker as we get ready for tonight's stream from the Rio Grande Valley as we are playing 1-3 tonight. Minimum buy-in is $300, although a lot of these players buying in for 5. Seat 1, Rolando, 325. Then we got Don Neto in seat 2.
I can show you right now the text message with a book matchmaker. I have it there because that's like a private conversation that you have. And I get offered,
As we get ready for hand number 1.
and I get offered for 4 rounds, $6,000 for 4 rounds. Check. A guy with no fight, debut.
Johnny Ringo raising it up under the gun with the Queen Jacks at 15. Getting quick folds from
MMA fighter. At the beginning,
the rest of the players.
none. I used to have 2 pro MMA fighters.
All in Joe calling with the suited connectors.
700, $800.
Rolando making the call as well. Don Neto does the same, and we're going 4 ways to the flop. Aggressor.
Me bajaste. Me guardaste los chavitos que me quitaste.
And All in Joe's going to call with the open ender. Rolando going to be calling with the gut shot. And 3 ways to the turn we go. Actually, All in Joe with bottom pair. Check that middle pair. Now he's picking up a flush draw. Overcard to the jack. We'll see what Ringo does. Looks like he's going to put out another bet here. About 65? 55, so about a third of the pot. All in Joe might be raising here now that he's picked up a flush draw to go along with his pair, and he does exactly that, raising it up to 250. And let's see what Ringo does now. Oh, Ringo gonna let it go, and All in Joe gonna pick up our first hand. I do know we have some action in the chat already. I do appreciate the comments on Wednesday night. We do stream on the secondary channel on Wednesday nights, and for about the first 40 minutes, my microphone was off. So, microphone working good. You can see seat 9 there, All in Joe. 170 profit. And then Ringo with 105, losing in that pot as we get ready for hand number 2 from the Texas Card House Rio Grande Valley. Action on Jeff, who gets rid of it. And then we got a race coming from, I believe this guy's using 4 names tonight. Yeah, so we got Danny Paco, Jeff Ibram raising it with 10s. And Rolando, who likes to see flops, makes the call. Don Neto calling with the ace. And we are going 3 ways to a flop. Got Ash Cash in the box tonight, Ashley dealing. 2 overcards to the 10s. But looks like he's going to put out a small continuation bet. Actually sizing down here. Raised it to 20 pre-flop and bets 15 on the flop. Rolando with bottom pair going to be making the call as we see an ace on the turn now. Danny Paco Jeff now has a straight draw, but I don't know if he's going to be able to call this bet with the 3 overcards on the board. You can see he doesn't like it, and he's going to let the 10s go. So Danny Paco Jeff getting bluffed the second hand. And let me check on the chat here real quick. Yeah, so RG3, who has played on the stream before, and I saw him yesterday. I was here playing cash yesterday, as was he, so letting me know that the that the mic is working good. Appreciate it. And then we got Rebel Poker.
Ya me consiguió un menudito ahí con un zapato.
Looks like we have a button straddle here from Don Neto. And Johnny Ringo going to be raising it up. Didn't get his card scanned. Looks like it's going to be the K9. Playing this hand a little aggressive, but you tend to see that at the beginning of the streams from certain players. In general, around the first 10 hands or so, players will either play a little bit tighter than they normally play or a little bit looser. They're either trying to establish a table image or just trying to fill out the table. And it looks like Ringo, who did raise the first hand under the gun with Queen Jack offsuit, raising this hand as well. And Don Neto with the Ace King, but he's just going to make the call here. Thought he might be putting on the 3-bet. Don Neto choosing just to call. So Don Neto betting 30 with just ace high. He does have the best hand. Quick call by Ringo. And now Ringo going to pick up a straight draw to go along. And he's not going to be able to call this as Don Neto has the ace king. So still getting settled in here. Seems like that overhead camera is a little bit off center. So I will definitely let the production crew know about that. Looks good there, but when it zooms in, doesn't seem to zoom in properly. Danny Paco Jeff had 10s earlier, and now he has the jacks. Raised it to 20 with the 10s, raising it to 25 with the jacks, and he immediately picks up 2 callers, make that 3 callers. Folded around to the blinds. We have Josh, who has a pocket pair of his own, making the call, and Jeff will get out of the way, and we will go 5 ways to a flop. 7 high flop might get Josh in trouble, as he does have an overpair to the board. Nice flop for Danny Paco Jeff, as he's going to be betting about 2/3 of the pot here. Yeah, 75, so betting about 2/3 of the pot. And like I said, Josh might get in trouble here. Yes, Josh announces all in, and a snap call from Danny Paco Jeff, and we got ourselves our first all in of the night, as this pot is over $600. So Josh does have some backdoor outs for a straight. That's some good news. He also has his 2 outs are available. Both 8s are still available, as the action tracker does keep track of the outs. I don't know if they're going to run it once or twice. It looks like they're going to go twice. So Josh is going to have 2 chances to hit his 2 outer. Once again, those are the immediate outs. Okay, he needs to hit an 8. So the jack's going to win the first one. 5, 6, 8. Nope. Going to need that 8. And he does not get there. So the jacks will take down the pot for Danny Paco Jeff Ibram. Josh actually joining us tonight from Austin. So let's see if he rebuys. Yeah, he's going to rebuy. So the minimum buy-in is $300 on the stream table.
Barrels, table 9.
This is a 1-3. It's 1-3. And normally the minimum buy-in is $100. We do have 3 or 4 cash game tables running on the main floor. So the minimum buy-in there is $100, and the maximum buy-in is $8,000 or max your stack. There's the VPIP after 5 hands. And Rolando does like to see flops, so not surprising that he is leading the way right now. Both Jeff and Kyle have not played or have not played a hand yet. Jeff has been in the blinds, but that does not count towards your VPIP.
Y su primera pelea profesional yo estuve ahí. Y en la otra también.
Háblale al servicio. María.
Pero ese es el problema cuando la gente le vende fantasía. Cortina de humo. Te voy a llevar aquí, te voy a llevar allá. ¿Qué tú me dices con eso? Te voy a llevar a una Sprite, te voy a llevar te voy a llevar aquí, te voy a llevar allá. Mira, mano, eso no se
So All-In Joe raising it up. As a matter of fact, putting it on the 3-bet here with the pocket 9s. Kyle coming right back. No, excuse me. That's going to be Josh. Josh coming right back in with the ace. And now Jeff has the better ace. So both Jeff and Kyle had not played a hand for the VPIP. And it looks like they're going to be playing this hand as Jeff makes a call. Kyle, your initial raiser, going to be making the call. And actually, Josh has pocket deuces. It's Kyle with the ace-3. So Kyle was the initial raiser to 15. I actually think it was a straddle. No, it doesn't show a straddle. So the actual initial raiser is right here, Coach Mike. His first time playing on the stream. Ooh, I thought he would call considering he was closing off the action, but he does let it go. And we're going 5 ways to a flop. Pocket 9's the best hand right now, and the ace is going to come on the flop, and Josh is going to hit a set of deuces. So Josh is probably going to be doubling up this hand unless if Jeff or Kyle get really lucky here. So $100 bet here from Jeff. Kyle making the call. He does have backdoor straight draws. Jeff with backdoor flush draws. But right now, you can see Josh has a stranglehold with an 86 percentile to win. He just might go all in here. You can see the pot's already $400, and he has 250 behind. Yeah, so he's going to go all in, and it's almost a min raise here as Jeff let out for 100, and Josh is going all in for 250. So basically a min raise. These players are getting priced in, and Josh, as I said, just lost the last hand, and he's in very good shape to double up here. All right, let's see a 4 of clubs for fun. 4 of clubs will give both his opponent run it out. Just for fun, just for fun. It's going to need to be a card that's 5 or below that is a club for both his opponents to have possible outs. You can see this pot's already $1,000. So it'll be heads up on the outside. Jeff has about, both players have about 200. Okay, so Kyle has some backdoor outs here, and Kyle's going to have to call. His pot's over $1,000. He knows he's going to have to call that he's picked up these outs. Not happy to call because he knows he only has a 3 kicker, but he knows he does have some outs. So Kyle, going to need to hit a 5. Jeff is drawn dead. Jeff is drawn dead, but there is a side pot. So there's going to be 180 in the side pot available for somebody to win. Well, actually, it's 3. what is that, 360 in the side? Yeah. So 360 is in the side pot. So Jeff, even though he's drawn dead for the main pot, he can win. He's currently winning the side pot right now. But if Kyle hits a 5, he will scoop everything. Kyle needs a 3 to win the side pot, a 5 to win everything. I think they're going twice. Yeah, they're going twice. So going to need to see a 3 or a 5. That's not it. 3 or a 5. Oh! Kyle's going to hit the 5. So he's going to win half the side pot and half the main pot. The ace jack is going to win the top board for the main pot, for the side pot. So they're going to chop the main pot.
Then you have a set of deuces and a straight on the bottom. Chop it up.
So Kyle chopping both pots. You can see the dealer taking care of that. And got a little activity here in the chat. Nice to see Ash cash back tonight. So Ashley is dealing for the first hour, and then she's going to be tapped out. I believe it's going to be Enrique dealing the second hour, and then she'll come back. So things a little bit different on the stream table compared to the normal table. As I said, we do have about 3 or 4 1-3 tables currently playing on the main floor. The minimum buy-in for those tables is 100. The maximum buy-in is 1,000 or match to stack. For the stream, the blinds remain the same, but the buy-in is 300, and there is no maximum. So we do make the buy-in a little bit larger on the stream table because we do know people likes to see big pots. And I gotta admit, I like big pots and I cannot lie. You other brothers can't lie. So after all that, Josh is... Well, actually, they're showing that... Yeah, so something read wrong there. It's showing Josh is down 800. Something read wrong, and I'm sure they'll get it corrected. As a matter of fact, that's what they're doing now. They're getting it corrected. So that's the pause in the action. They're asking Josh to count his chips so they can punch in the right amount. Since they ran it twice, the pot did not get awarded properly in the system. Kyle, after everything gets cleaned up, it looks like Kyle is going to be up as he did win half of each pot. So Kyle up 170 after it's all said and done. Jeff down 350. Jeff was in for 500, so Jeff is down 350. Don Neto with the suited connectors. He's going to be making the call. Johnny Ringo going to be raising it up with his suited ace. Folded around to the blinds. The blinds will let go. And Don Neto will make the call. So heads up we go. $44 pot. Each player with a 4 in their hand. It's going to come 2 spades. Don Neto flopping a flush draw. And he will check to Johnny Ringo as Johnny Ringo puts out a continuation bet here of about half pot. And he might get checked raised. No, Don Neto just making the call with his flush draw. Ace high still in the lead. Let's see if Ringo continues on with his aggression. It looks like he is cutting out a bet. Looks like about 40 or 50. Dealer announces 50. And Don Neto looks like he's just going to call again with his flush draw.
Sí, pero eso que hicieron fue miel de él.
Don Neto could also hit a 4 or a 3, and that's exactly what he does.
Eso no vende.
Hitting a 3,
Ahora tú me dices,
and now it goes check, check.
y
Don Neto going to show that he missed the flush draw, but hit a pair, and the pair of 3s is going to be good for this pot.
vende en cualquier lado. Papá, están los europeos de aquí. ¿Qué gente de Europa va a venir aquí a pagar qué? Ahora, yo te garantizo si tú pones peleadores puertorriqueños aquí y toda esa gente que vive en San Antonio.
So one of the great things about poker is that it is a social game, and it does bring people from a lot of different backgrounds together. So we have a player who's from the Houston area, which is about 5 hours away from here. He lives down in this area now. We got another player from Austin, which is about 4 hours and 20 minutes away from here. And he's from Austin. We have Rolando, who's from Puerto Rico but lives here in the Valley now, and he's raising it up with the Queen Jack. We got Don Neto, who grew up down in Mexico. And we got Coach Mike. Coach Mike, like Rolando, are both boxing coaches. Rolando more of a coach, Coach Mike more of a promoter. As we have an ace-high flop here, Don Neto hitting the ace, and All in Joe hitting the king. You can see the name of Coach Mike's promotion company right there. Juarez Rolos Promotion. Does a lot of, puts on a lot of shows down here in the Rio Grande Valley. Has also put on shows in the Las Vegas area as well. It's kind of funny because if you know about Vegas, the locals refer to it as the Vegas Valley. And this area down here in South Texas is also known as the Valley, the Rio Grande Valley. Trips for Don Neto, and maybe something was read wrong on Rolando, because the line that he's taken does not indicate he has Queen 7, as he did raise it pre-flop and now goes all in on the turn. So I don't think he has Queen 7. Sometimes the card reader misreads something. But either way, we do have an all-in here and a full house for Don Neto. And let's see if Rolando shows. He does not show. We haven't had any issues thus far, but granted, we're only about 7 hands in with the card reader, so I don't know if he got caught making a move. But either way, he's going to have to rebuy. Hello, Kiwi. As I said, we are live on the YouTube chat. I do realize we are streaming on multiple platforms. Streaming on Twitch, streaming on the Facebook, streaming on YouTube. The only comments that I have access to are on the YouTube. So feel free to subscribe to the channel, and then after 5 minutes, after you've been subscribed to the channel for 5 minutes, you will be allowed to post questions on the chat. You can see both Rolando and Don Neto, who just played the last pod. They're in at 71% on the VPIP, as action is on Rolando. Does did rebuy for $500, has a suited king. He should be making this call. He's waiting on his chip, so it's a little bit awkward, but he's letting the dealer know that he is calling. So chips are on the way. Looks like Jeff making the limp with the ace. And looks like a small raise here from Danny Paco Jeff. And Kyle going to be playing his button here with the Jack 3. And Coach Mike putting on the 3-bet with the pocket fours. Rolando, as I said at the beginning, he likes to see flops. And he's going to be making the call. It looks like everybody's going to be making the call here. Danny Paco Jeff going to be making the call with the fives. And Kyle's getting priced in here as he is closing the action. And more importantly, he will be in position for all of the hand as we are going 5 ways to a $200 pot. Just your normal 1-3 game here at the Texas Card House. And it's going to be Jack high. So Kyle going to be hitting top pair. Rolando and Jeff hitting middle pair. And Coach Mike going to put out the check. Rolando looks like he's putting out a decent sized bet here, over half pot bet. I don't think Kyle's going to fold. When you call with Jack 3 and you hit a pair, then you're probably calling. But now you can see that Kyle did not like Jeff's all in. And Jeff actually might, this move from Jeff might get Kyle to fold. Oh, and it does. So this is going to work out good for Jeff, as he does have Rolando out-kicked. It's going to be maybe... Oh, I thought Jeff went all in. He just called. Jeff only has about... It says 110, but I don't see any grips there. So now Jeff going all in, and obviously he's going to be getting a call from Rolando, and he is drawing dead. So Kyle, looks like Kyle's going to wind up making the right fold unless if a jack comes. No, a jack does not come, so Kyle making the wrong fold at the right time. So Hunter in the chat saying TCS best action in Texas. I concur, sir. I concur. So we are streaming on TCH Live. This is the main channel for all TCH locations. I know the schedule during the week. On Tuesday, you got the big game from Dallas that streams on this channel. And then on Wednesday, you have the Austin stream. Austin changing it up this past week. They had a Big O stream. They had a Big O stream this past week. So if you like the 5-card game, you can check that out later. There's not a lot of literature or strategy on Big O, which in some places is called Congress. Basically, it's a 5-card PLO high-low. But one of the main sources of all the information on the Big O game The author, he's written a couple of books, has some websites, has a website as well that kind of breaks down the game. He was a guest commentator for that game on Wednesday night. And then yesterday they were streaming from the Houston location. And then tonight it's us, as we are one of 6 Texas Card House locations located across the state of Texas. One of 4 streaming locations. Tomorrow, normally Dallas will stream a tournament. 10 high flop for Josh. That's the good news. The bad news is Coach Mike hit in a set of 4. So the second time in 2 hands that Coach Mike has pocket 4s. This time he hits a set of 4s. And Josh might get in trouble here with his top pair, as Coach Mike is going to be betting basically half pot. Looks like 55. Dealer will cut it out.
60.
Oh, 60. So just over half pot. And Josh announces all in, and he's going to get snap called. He's going to have to go runner. Not sure what Kyle's thinking about. Maybe Kyle has the king of diamonds to go with the jack of diamonds. But Kyle has king high here. Like I said, I don't know what he's thinking about. Maybe this is just the time and tell. Perhaps. So there's the snap call. And Josh is going to have to get lucky. They might run it twice. I know Josh is. This is the 3rd time in 9 hands that Josh is all in. The previous 2 times they've run it twice. Oh, it's quads. He's drawn dead. And that's going to be a high hand. That's going to be a high hand. Look at all of Joe. He cannot believe the quad 4s. Yeah, so the dealer calling it over for the high hand. We do have a high hand here Monday through Friday, and it does have a rollover. And I know I didn't stay until 2 a.m. last night. I think I left around a little bit after 1, but I know last night this high hand was up to, I believe, $400 or $500. So it did start up again at 6. I don't know if anybody hit it at 7 p.m. Yeah, it's 600, and it's going to be paid out in 10 minutes. At 600, it's going to be paid out in 10 minutes. I know the math doesn't work, but keep in mind this hand taking place 15 minutes ago. So we are on the 15-minute delay. So now the math works out. We're on the 15-minute delay. It has not been hit. It is $600 that Coach Mike might hit here. And Josh has been on a roller coaster tonight, all in a third of the hands that have been played tonight. Josh has been all in. Oh my gosh, Josh.
Straight flash. I was like, what? What the fuck?
Así, viejo, 30 seconds después que yo gané con un póker, a los 30 segundos ganó la straight flush.
No te creo.
A los 30 segundos a la siguiente mesa.
Ay, pero yo tengo chance.
¿Y sabes quién la ganó? Pinche día, dije, dame la mitad, culero. No.
¿Quién cree?
Díaz. Otro coach de box. Yeah.
No vale nada.
Every time I look up at the screen and see all in Joe, I think somebody's all in, but he did straddle here. 9 high flop. It's going to get checked around. Pre-turn. Coach Mike hitting a 7. But it is Josh who's going to be leading out here. Quick call from Coach Mike. And Josh is going to have to hit a king or a queen. And he's going to miss. Oh, he's going to put on a bluff here, and I don't think it's going to work. The sizing's too small. Yeah. Call announced. And 2 straight hands. Coach Mike going to be getting the better of Josh. Coach Mike's first time playing on the stream. We got a lot of new players on the stream. It is Coach Mike's first time playing on the stream. It is All in Joe's first time playing on the stream as well. Not his first time playing poker. As a matter of fact, he's been playing poker since he was 15 years old. $10 button straddle under the gun coming from Josh. He has definitely come to gamble tonight. So action's going to be on Jeff. And I know the dealer really let him know about the phone. You want to be on your phone, you got to step out of the room. These kids and their phones nowadays. So $10 straddle from Josh. Danny Paco Jeff just making the call. Wow, Coach Kyle just flattened here with the ace-king. Very interesting play by Kyle here. Normally when you get a premium hand, you want to build a pot, maximize the value on that premium. And it's going to be 2 pair for Danny Paco Jeff. And Kyle's going to lead out here with his ace-king. He also has the ace of hearts, so really not too worried about the flush draw. Let's see if Josh is able to get away from his middle pair here. Wow, nice fold by Josh, as the bet was only $20. Did not get married to his middle pair. And it looks like Danny Paco Jeff Ibram. That's a lot of names. I guess the good part is they're all short names. Somehow the longest name is Danny in that conglomeration of names. So he raises here to 110. And Kyle's thinking to himself, why didn't I raise pre-flop with ace-king? I think he might have too strong of a hand here where he can just fold to a raise. And he agrees with me as he's going to be making the call. Going to need an ace for an immediate out. There's 2 left. He can also go runner, runner straight, runner, runner flush. And he has caught one of those runner outs, as now he can hit a heart for a flush. Danny Paco Jeff, $281 in the pot. Tiny bet. Tiny bet. I don't know if he's trying to induce a raise here from Kyle with this tiny bet, or if he's scared of the heart coming on the turn. But Kyle is definitely going to be calling, might be raising. Kyle just calls. So Kyle could still hit an ace. Of course, he's going to feel much better with a heart, as we see nothing but red cards. And there's a black card. So Danny Paco Jeff, 360. He's going to check the river. And Kyle checking back. Gonna see the 2 pair. Kyle will show the ace-king. That's no good. So $361 pot. That's the area code for Corpus Christi. Normally on Wednesday nights we have a player join us from Corpus Christi. CC Drew. So shout out to him if he's watching, or anybody from the 361 area code. So that win is going to take Danny Paco Jeff up to a $501 profit. Looks like he was in for $400. No straddle this hand, as action's going to be on Jeff. My name is Jeff. And he has the flat tire. He'll get rid of it. And looks like he needs to use his phone, so stepping out of the stream room. Got two players away from their seats right now. Oh, wow. So it's going to be a $1 win for Josh there, as Ringo just folded to him. So got Edward joining us from Kansas. Salina, Kansas? I'm pretty sure I've been there before. Well, not like in the city. Drove by it before. I'm pretty sure that's where the two interstates in Kansas, I-35 and I-70. Pretty sure that's around the area that meet, and I've done that before. And then we got Mark Woods. Yo. So Jeff not at his seat. His big blind will get posted. The players are aware that they do get blinded out. Everybody making the call here. So $6 straddle, 6 players. And Don Neto, the only one hitting a pair. Don Neto hit its second pair with his 7. Oh, and he's going to bet here. This is a nice bet here from Don Neto, as it did check around to him. Figures nobody has a queen, so he's going to protect his hand. So nice bet here from Don Neto, but he's going to get looked up by Kyle and his deuces. Kyle not convinced that Don Neto has any of this. Both deuces are available. You can see on the upper left-hand side, both deuces are still available in the deck. Don Neto going to put out another bet, and now maybe Kyle will let go of his 2s, and he does. Yeah, as I mentioned, we do have some new players tonight. 2 new players playing, actually 3 new players. Josh from the Austin area, I don't think he's ever played on the stream before. Josh says that he plays at a different card house in Austin, just based upon the fact that he either lives or works by a card house that is not DCH Social. Jeff with the 8 king, raising it up. You can see the helmet in the background there, and that helmet actually belongs to Jeff. So heads up we go. This might be a dangerous flop as both players have a straight draw, but Don Neto has the overpair. Really rare when you have pocket sixes and you have an overpair to the board, but that is the case here. Jeff thinks a 5 will make him a straight. He's correct. The problem is a 5 is also going to make Don Neto a straight. Yeah, Jeff's going to call here, and I don't blame him, as normally the 5 would be good for the straight. His ace and king are still good, but the problem is if you hit an ace, then any 5 makes a straight. Jeff checking dark. Johnny Ringo really seems to be enjoying that tableside massage. And there is just a pause in the action as you can see that both Don Neto and Johnny Ringo are still listed in the hand. So once the action tracker clears that out, we will see the true outs. And Jeff has 3 outs available. There's 2 aces left, 1 king left. Oh, that's disastrous for Jeff. Disastrous. He's probably going to check raise Don Neto here. He hit a straight, but the straight is not good. Don Neto putting out another bet. And how many chips is Jeff going to lose? Jeff is not drawn dead. Now he needs a 6 just to chop the pot. Oh, yeah, he raised him, and Don Neto's going to raise back. And we're going to have probably another $1,000 pot. Yeah, Jeff making the call. And once Jeff makes the call, it's going to take this pot up to over 1,000. So second $1,000 pot of the night. Jeff is going to need to hit a 6 just to chop the pot. He cannot win the pot. He can only chop the pot. Oh, that looked like a 6, but it's a backwards 6. Yeah. The table reacted. Could not believe that Don Neto had the 6s there. And Jeff going to have to put in the rebuy if he wants to continue. I do know we actually have a pretty good list for this stream table. There's I want to say 5 people on the waiting list to get in. So Don Neto with the huge pot. Yeah, Jeff is going to rebuy. And that pot is going to take Jeff, it's going to take Don Neto up the leaderboard. Yeah, so Jeff is actually a licensed pilot, does fly jets, and kind of like Top Gun, he flies the jets and has a sports bike. I forget which one it is. He either has a Suzuki Hayabusa or the Kawasaki Ninja, but whatever it is, it's the top of the line sports bike that either Suzuki or Kawasaki makes. There's a lot of different CCs, the cubic centimeters for the Ninja engine, but it is the 1300 if it is the Ninja. So Jeff with the rebuy, looks like 500 as Maria takes care of it, our chip runner. Gracias, Maria. And Josh all in again. Got ourselves a race. Ace Jack versus sevens. I don't know if they're going to go twice. 109 in the middle. Going to go twice. 109. That's Travis Pastrano's number. Josh picking out some more outs on the turn. Looks like it's going to be a chop pot, and it will. So Josh all in for the fourth time tonight. Checking some of the comments on the YouTube chat. Normally I'm in the booth by myself. That is the case tonight.
That's the DirecTV app?
No, it's just the normal TV, but it has like all the channels.
I know, I saw it. It's like, what the heck?
I don't even know if they work.
So it looks like all in Joe
We have normal YouTube.
putting in the $6 under the gun straddle.
It's the DirecTV boxing tournament.
The game should be here too. What channel?
Oh, Don Neto with the Cowboys. Uh-oh. Ace King for Johnny Ringo, and we might have ourselves another all-in. So Don John is probably going to be all in again for the fifth time. Did he announce all in, or did he just call? He just called, but Don Neto's going to be putting on with the Kings. He just called the $6. See, Josh has back. Oh, Don Neto just called with the Kings? Wow. Coach Mike hitting top pair, but Don Neto might save Josh from an all-in, and it does. What is Coach Mike going to do here with his top pair? Looks like he's just going to make the call. Coach Mike going to need to hit a queen or a 9. Can also go backdoor hearts. Those backdoor hearts are now closed. And Don Neto going to continue on here with this Kings. Betting about half pot. Looks like about 130. It's 120. Coach Mike asking for a count. He did tell me before the stream, make sure you do shout out Rudy Wattis, the legend. I think you call here again, but you don't like it, and pretty sure that's what's going through his mind. Oh, is he thinking about folding?
Anything other than this. True TV. We're trying to
Oh, it looks like he's gonna fold. Very painful decision, and he is right to feel this way, as his opponent has kings, and he only has 3 outs available if he makes his call. Wow, nice fold by Coach Mike, avoiding the knockout.
Hey, quit dog acting stupid. You know the funny one? Hey, you know what's funny? Hey, Declan, put like the dog acting dumb. You know the video like cat, dog and cat doing like stupid stuff? Oh, yeah. You put that too. Or like jumping off the couch.
Everybody in the chat run away? Well, we got a dealer change either way. Maybe this new dealer will bring him back. Pretty sure it's going to be Enrique. So exactly, well, I was going to say exactly an hour into tonight's stream, but almost an hour into tonight's stream, do have our first dealer change of the night. And it looks like Johnny Ringo is getting a 1-hour massage as now is his chair back forward facing. And it looks like Kyle putting on a button straddle. So new dealer, let's see if it's new luck for some players. As Kyle puts on, that's at least $6 on the button, maybe 10. It is $6, so action will start on Coach Mike. He lets it go. Small raise here coming from All In Joe. So All In Joe with the suited queen. Rolando making the call, as does Johnny Ringo. A reference to the Tombstone movie, if you've never seen it before. It's actually a pretty good movie. Of course, came out back in the 90s, last century. Five ways to a flop we go. And it's going to be Jack, Jack, Deuce. Everybody misses. Somehow, Danny, Paco, Jeff with the best hand here. But All In Joe, who was your pre-flop raiser, going to put out a small bet here. Oh, and it looks like Rolando's going to raise this bet. Nice play by Rolando here. Sensing some weakness. Raising it up. Has the worst hand right now. Actually, the two players with the worst hand, All In Joe and Rolando, as they are trying to get one of the TVs to work properly. You can see Declan there in the background, the GM here. Formerly of the Texas Card House Dallas. As a matter of fact, I tuned in last week to the Dallas stream, and they were talking about Declan. So All In Joe making the call. So Rolando with a nice raise. Let's see if he's able to follow it up with a bet on the turn here. All In Joe should be checking. He does. And let's see if Rolando follows it up. Oh, he's going to follow it up here. So real nice play by Rolando. 100% airball bluff. But this is going to get the job done. Yeah, All In Joe cannot call here. And I don't even think he can raise because Rolando only has 160 behind. If Rolando was deeper, he might be able to fold.
Yes, I'm going to get you chips. You want chips? Yes, sir. Get me cash.
Oh, I like that. Coach Mike won the high hand, and you have the option of cash or chips. And to be honest with you, most of the time, the players take the cash. But Coach Mike asking for chips. So they're going to be bringing him $600 in chips right now. It'll probably be a stack of green, which is worth 500, and then 4 other green chips to add to his stack. So Rolando with a nice play. Bluffing all the way. Action's going to be on Don Neto, who is up over $1,000, less than 20 hands into tonight's stream. He is looking down, squeezing his cards, and he is, yeah, Rolando did not scan his cards. That's why we haven't seen. There we go. And he's going to be calling here with his suited king. Or is that a min raise? No, it looks like he took it up to 10. Yes, it is 10. Josh making the call with the better king. Jeff making the call. Danny Paco Jeff also making the call. And Coach Mike makes the call as well. Five high flop, huge flop for Don Neto as he has a pair and a flush draw. A pair and a flush draw. Open-ended for Coach Mike with the 6. And Jeff needing a 6 for a straight, but he's going to let it go. Coach Mike asking for the count, $40 bet. Has no backdoor draws. And looks like he might be letting it go. Doesn't think he's going to be able to get value out of his hand if he does hit his straight, since it'll be a 4-liner on the board. It'll be a very obvious straight. But he is in position here. And he does make the call. Rolando getting out of the way, and you can see Coach Mike's outs up top. 7 live outs. So the outs that are in the gray, looks like there's 3 outs in the gray. Those are cards that have been folded. Those were cards that were dealt out to players and got folded. And now he's going to let go of his hand that the board has paired. So Don Neto, the rich get richer. So Josh, with less than $100 left in his stack, has about 59. Going to be probably going all in for the 5th time tonight pretty soon here. Both him and Jeff down over 500. Rolando down 400, Ringo down 300, Kyle and All in Joe down 100. So only 3 players in the green. The other players resided in Stuckville tonight. So $7 button straddle from All in Joe. I don't think he's gone all in yet. Hasn't lived up to his name thus far. So Ruby, the waitress, popping in, checking in on the players, as there is a full-service bar here at the Texas Card House. Let's go clubbing, as it's going to be all clubs, ace-high club. 2 players with clubs. Don Neto has a flush draw and a straight draw. A 6 or a deuce makes him a straight. Jeff with just the 9 high club looks like he's gonna let it go. And he actually makes the call. And there are the green chips that Coach Mike won from the high hand. He puts them in play. Gonna try to double them up. There's the 6 for Don Neto. He hits his straight. That is going to give a straight draw to Jeff. So now it is Jeff with the straight draw and flush draw. And Don Neto going to continue on here for 85? 90. So Jeff called with a flush draw on the flop. Now he has a straight draw to go with it. And he will make the call, looking for a 5 or a 10. A club will also work. And there's the club. Don Neto checking. And I think Jeff is just going to check this back. I don't think you can go for a thin value here, and he agrees, as he will show the 9 for the 9 high flush and gets a little revenge on Don Neto. If you're just tuning in, welcome to TCH Live Poker, as we are streaming tonight from South Texas, Rio Grande Valley area to be exact. We do have a button straddle. The action will start to the left of the straddle. It is not a Mississippi straddle. It is not a Hard Rock straddle. It is not ultimate last action. Anytime somebody straddles here at the Texas Card House RGV, the action starts to the left. So action will be on the small blind. Looks like a $10 button straddle. Don Neto going to be first to act pre-flop and first to act post-flop. Don Neto with deuces. And he is going to make the call. Don Neto knows that it is hard to get a pair. And as a matter of fact, he has a saying. It's in Spanish. Par es par. A pair is a pair. So it's very rare that he does not play a hand where he is dealt a pair pre-flop. So Don Neto makes a call. Jeff, who just won the last hand, does the same. Coach Mike, you can see the green chips. That's part of the high hand. Hitting quad fours on the stream. Hitting 4-4s on the stream. And it looks like Rolando is raising it up here with the 4-deuce offsuit. Raising it up. I don't think this is going to work. The sizing's a little bit too small to get folds from everybody. And Don Neto, I just said, par es par. Pair is a pair. He calls the raise. Coach Mike with the 10-8. Don't know what he's going to do, but I know All in Joe's going to call with the Netro 9. Flicking out 2 green chips as we go 3 ways to a flop. The highest card between the 3 of them is a 5. And the 5 showing up on the flop. So All in Joe flopping bottom pair with a straight draw. Rolando also flopping a straight draw. And I just told you about Don Neto. He's old school. Par es par. A pair is a pair. And he has a pair in his hand and he's making the call. I don't know if this is going to get rid of All in Joe. He does have a backdoor flush draw to go along with it. No, he gets rid of the hand. So now Don Neto is the favorite with his pocket deuces. Oh, wow. All in Joe would have hit trips. Couple of counterfeit outs available now. I'm telling you, Don Neto does not fold. As a matter of fact, he's going all in, but no, he is making the call. No, he does go all in. Par is par. Pair is a pair. And actually, Rolando might make the call here, considering the pot's already $600. He has $114 left. And if he saw Don Neto's hand, he would make the call because he can actually get counterfeited with an 8 or a 6. If an 8 or a 6 comes, he will counterfeit Don Neto. Wow, he's going to fold. Par is par. Pair is a pair. Show one, show all. Don Neto showing his deuces. It was the best hand. Looks like we got Fletcher checking in on the chat. Fletcher did play on our Wednesday night stream. We do stream on the secondary channel every Wednesday night. Actually, a lot of people don't know about the secondary channel. We have over 50,000 subscribers to this channel, which is TCH Live Poker. But the secondary channel is Texas Card House, 3 different words. The easiest way to distinguish the channels is the little logo, the little avatar that you see in the center of the table there, the circle with all the suits inside. Rolando just losing the last hand, but he's going to be raising it up with the dog, the canine. Johnny Ringo making the call. Josh, is Josh all in? No, Josh just makes the call. Josh has the best hand right now. And Coach Mike does the same. So it looks like we got ourselves exactly a $100 pot. And Johnny Ringo gonna hit trips. Both Josh and Jeff with a flush draw. It has been checked to Jeff. Jeff checks his flush draw, and it's might go check around, or Rolando might make a move. Rolando, your pre-flop raiser. No, he slows down. He pumps the brakes. Josh picking up a pair to go along with his flush draw. And Ringo checking again. Ringo waiting on somebody to fall in to his trap. And it looks like Mike is going to... Oh, Rolando going all in now that he hit a 9. And Ringo's all like, I love it when a plan comes together. I think Josh just has to call it off here. He has... How much does Josh have? Josh has about 40 bucks left. This pot is way too big to fold the nut flush draw. Obviously, you know you're behind. Obviously, you know you have to hit. But Josh has been all in multiple times tonight. This is his second or third buy-in, so that is definitely factoring in. But the pot is just too big with the nut flush draw. Oh, he's going to let it go. Disgustingly. He's disgusted. So Johnny Ringo going to be winning this pot. Ooh, the diamond would have got there, and Josh is going to be sick. Yeah, you can see Josh. Cannot believe it. Let's see, I'm reading his mind. FML? Are those the letters he's saying? Oh, he's letting Ringo know he folded a flush. He's letting Ringo know he folded a flush. Yeah, that pot would have got him almost unstuck. Yeah, even Fletcher agreeing with me. That's a call all day long with that much money behind. And it's weird because me and Fletcher normally don't agree on stuff.
Right? Gonna catch up.
Danny, Paco, Jeff won a big hand earlier with the King Jack, and he's going to try it out again as Ringo just winning the last hand with trip 10s, looks down at a 10 in his hand and raises up his button. We're going to go heads up to a flop. 9 times 9 is 81. That's how much is in the pot. And it's going to be a gut shot for Danny, Paco, Jeff. Ringo having the card, the 10 in his hand. Ringo going to be cutting out a continuation bet here. Looks like just over half pot, 45. Of course, that was Michael Jordan's number when he played baseball. You can see in the background there is Rolando and I believe Coach Mike going outside to use the phone. Ringo now picking up a straight draw, needing a 9. Can also hit a 6 as Danny, Paco, Jeff checks his king high. And Ringo's thinking about bluffing. And Ringo's going to bluff. Going to bet about 100 here at 75. What does Danny, Paco, Jeff do here? Danny, Paco, Jeff, those are first names. Ibram, I believe, is a last name. I know there was a Charles Ibram that used to own the San Antonio Spurs. And he's going to get bluffed out. Oh, Ringo shows the bluff. I love it.
Kind of what it felt like.
So right now, today was the first day, the first of 19 flights. One of them has already taken place, and one of them is going on right now. We have the March Monster Stack. $33,333 guaranteed. $7,500 to first. Day 1A has concluded. Day 1B is taking place right now. And every day for the next week, there will be 2 flights. One at 6 p.m. Excuse me, one at 1 p.m. and then one at 6 p.m. March Monster Stack here at the Texas Card House RGV. $6 live strato from Kyle. And Josh is going all in with aces. So he was waiting for a premium hand. He got the premium hand, but everybody's going to be looking him up here. So it looks like he's going to have to be avoiding a lot as All In Joe raising it with the 8-6 offsuit to 15. Josh going all in for, is it 35? Yeah, it is 35. Ringo has won 2 straight hands. He might make the call here for turkey time. No, he does not. So there's only 1 deuce left that Josh is going to have to avoid. He's going to have to avoid the 8-6 as well. And that's a pretty good start here. So Josh all in for the 4th or 5th time tonight. And he's going to be doubling up here. Or there might be 1 deuce left. Okay. Here comes the double. Looks like it's going to go check, check. And Josh going to show the aces for the triple up. So Josh knows he folded the winner when he had the ace-high flush draw, so he's happy to triple up, but would have been happier. I still think that was in the back of his mind, because even though he won the aces, that's probably the saddest triple up I've seen in a while. The dealer resetting the action tracker. You can see in front of each player there is a circle. A circle within a circle within a circle.
This is the first time this thing was too quiet, right?
Yeah, I agree.
All the shots?
I'm drinking, huh? I'm drinking. Slow, but I'm drinking.
He's down for a shot. I know Yuli's down. Whiskey? It's kind of hard to shoot whiskey.
We're on a 15-minute delay, as usually I am in the same building. Sometimes I will do remote commentating, but usually I'm in the same building, and that is the case tonight. So same building, different area. Essentially, if you have ever been to the Texas Card House RGV, as soon as you walk in, there'll be a table. There'll be the couch. The couch is to your left as soon as you walk in, and then right past the couch, before you get to the check-in desk, is a little room, and that is the booth they have me set up at. So I'm in the same building. Like I said, I was here earlier getting the information down on the players. We do have a couple of new players tonight. Usually I like to talk to the players before the stream, see if they want for me to specifically say something about them, or more importantly, at least in my case, not say something about them, as I don't want to say any information they don't want people to know. I actually got some information from All and Joe. I got a story, and I wasn't sure if he wanted me to say it, so I did ask him, and he said yes, you can say the story. So I'll say that a little bit later, as we got a interesting hand here, as Kyle put on the 3-bet out of the big blind, put it on the squeeze play with the king jack, and looks like it's gonna work. So nice raise there by Kyle, not necessarily playing his hand, but playing the situation. Somebody raising to 15, getting a lot of calls, and normally if that's the case, you're worried about the first raiser. Normally, once that first raiser folds, then everybody else follows suit. Does that say no stories or more stories? Because I'm reading that as more stories. Josh just limping here with the suited connectors. Or, excuse me, he calls. Is there a straddle? I think there's a $7 straddle under the gun from All and Joe. I think that's what's happening. Yeah, there was a straddle. Yep. You can see the S, right? The purple S, All in Joe, is a chip stack, and then the S means straddle. as he is going to flop a straight draw needing a 7. Coach Mike also flopping a straight draw needing a jack. And everybody else, swing and a miss. There's the jack to give Coach Mike the nuts. And he's going to bet. Of course, the nuts the best possible hand. There are 2 flush draws on the board. Kyle hitting the jack. Doesn't think his opponent has an ace. Thinking about calling. But as we can see, he is drawn dead. Kyle does make the call. And to the river we go. Kyle announcing check and dark. And that ace might get Coach Mike paid because Kyle didn't think he had an ace. And now the likelihood of him having an ace is even less since another ace showed up. So Kyle did not think his opponent had an ace when he called, and now even more so, like I said, with that second ace. So he's playing jacks and aces with the 10 kickers. Kicker's not even playing, but he's going to make the call. So Kyle going with his read. Kyle going with his read. Did not think his opponent had an ace. He was correct. However, his opponent had something better than an ace. All right, so All In Joe might look familiar. He's been in the poker scene for a while. The players are allowed to pick whatever they want for their names. To be honest with you, I don't know why he went with All In Joe. But as long as it's not derogatory, you can pick what you want on your name. So he went with All In Joe. When he first started playing poker, this was when he was 15, 16 years old. His first job, he was a pizza delivery boy. And he started delivering to a home game in Brownsville, Texas. He started delivering to a home game. And then one night, he delivers to the home game, and he doesn't leave. He sits down, and he starts playing poker. So, All In Joe, the player formerly known as Pizza Boy, got that nickname when he first started playing poker. So All In Joe with the ace-jack, raising it up. Rolando back in his seat. Oh, Jeff with the kings here. Pretty big raise. Looks like 130. 140. I'm a little surprised so many players are wearing jackets. I know it was in the 90s say, oh, Kyle going all in with the ace-queen. That's going to get a quick fold from All In Joe. Yeah, it was in the 80s today here in South Texas. I believe they're going to run it twice. And Kyle's going to need some help as one ace has been folded for sure. Maybe 2 aces. But the action tracker will let us know. Oh, they're running it twice. Running it twice. Kings versus ace-queen. Yeah, two aces are still left for Kyle. He's not going to hit any of them there. There it is. No spades? Nobody has spades? Yeah, so they will chop it up. They will chop it up. So I mentioned earlier that when the camera zooms in, it's a little bit off center. I let the production crew know, and they told me what happened. Well, what they think's happened, we will check it out after the stream, is when the cleaning crew came in to clean the table, they moved the table because the cameras are mounted. So they're thinking that the table, and that might be right because you can see the left side, the end of the left side of the table, but you can't see the end of the right side of the table. So I think the table is a little bit off center, which obviously normally isn't a big deal unless if you are streaming. And even here, it's not a big deal because we're able to see all of the action. Button straddle from Coach Don Neto with the fives. Par es par. Making the call. Fold it around to the kings of Danny Paco Jeff. So back-to-back kings. Jeff picked him up last time, and now somebody with Jeff in his name picks him up. Coach Mike making the fold, and Don Neto will be making the call. So we're going to go heads up to about an $84 pot. $84 pot. 8 high flop, 2 diamonds. And looks like Don Neto's going to lead out here. Par es par. I kind of like a flat just from the kings here, considering you do have the king of diamonds. You're really only worried about one card on the turn. And looks like he's going to do just that. So nice slow play here from Danny Paco Jeff. 7 coming on the turn. That's going to be a straight flush draw for Don Neto. And he is going to bet again here. That's a good / bad turn for Don Neto, as it's going to get him to commit 70 more in chips. And looks like Danny Paco Jeff just going to make the call again, as this board is starting to get a bit scary. Don Neto needed a 5 or the 6 of diamonds. Instead, the board will pair once again, which is a good card for Danny Paco Jeff. Don't know if he's going to raise here. I think he should be raising, especially this sizing. This is less than a third. This is less than a third of the pot. He should probably be raising here with a lot of his hands. He just announced his call. Don Neto rolls it over. And looks like Don Neto has a straight, but he does not. So Don Neto taking a hit. There you go. Don Neto, par es par. As I said, it's very rare that he folds a pocket pair. Somebody going to be adding on. It looks like it's going to be Josh. He's going to be adding on 300. So Don Neto and Danny Paco Jeff the two leaders right now, both of them just playing big pot together. We have a $6 under the gun straddle coming from Johnny Ringo. So Johnny Ringo, one of the villains in the Wyatt Earp story, the Old West, Tombstone, Arizona. I've actually seen the sign before driving back from Vegas. Never taken the exit to go down to Tombstone. Two players with the fake aces, the ace-4. Rolando back in his seat, making the call with the 5 high. And Josh, who just added on, will make the call with his suited ace. That's going to bring along Jeff. Rolando with the best equity right now. Huge flop for Josh. I like a check raise here. All right. There's the check. And let's see if the raise is going to come. You have to have a check range in your arsenal. And this is a real good hand to do that with. But looks like he's just going to call. And Jeff is not drawn dead, but he is drawn very thin, as a heart will not help him because Josh has better hearts. Jeff's going to have to go runner straight. Needs to go perfect 4-5 for him to win the pot. That'll happen 2% of the time. Oh, did I say 2% of the time? I meant 3% of the time, as now he can hit a 4 for the straight. There's only 1 4 left, I think. Well, there's 2. There's 1 for sure, possibly 2, as 2 4s are in the other player's hands. And All in Joe, thinking that his ace is good, going to be making a bet. Quick call from Josh. And Jeff is getting priced in. Call it the flop with a flush draw. Now he picks up a straight draw. I mean, granted, his flush is not good, but he does not know that. Wow, he makes the fold. That's real interesting. All right, put the 4. Wow, Jeff saved a ton of money by making that fold. I actually think it was the wrong fold, but kind of like Kyle earlier, making the wrong fold at the right time. Nice fold by All in Joe. Figures that his opponent has better than an ace.
Wow. Yo hacía nada.
So Josh winning a big pot there. Could have been bigger if Jeff would have stuck around. Josh is letting Jeff know that he did have the ace-high flush. And we do have a $10 button straddle coming from Rolando in seat 1. As action will be on Don Neto, who's up over $1,200 for the stream. Squeezing out the Jack-10. And he's going to make the call. Ringo with the quick fold. Josh with the King-Jack of Hearts raising it up here. Ace-Queen for Coach Mike making the call. And Rolando going to be doing the same. This is going to price in Don Neto, as he has the worst of it right now. Actually, Rolando has the worst of it. So 4 ways to a flop we go. Oh, big flop for Don Neto as he flops a pair and a straight draw. This is another one of those nice candidates to check raise. But it looks like he's going to put out the donk bet. So $75 announced. Don't see how Josh gets away from his hand right now. Oh, wow. So very coordinated board. And Josh folding the best hand as Rolando flashes the ace of spades. Don Neto will take down the pot. Pretty sure they're going to be popping up the VPIP here pretty shortly. VPIP voluntarily put money in pot. Normally they flash it up between 5 to 10 hands. Gives us a good idea of how these players are approaching the game. So action is going to be on Jeff. Pretty sure dealers let him know about his phone. It's pretty easy just to step out. And of course, he doesn't want to miss the action. He's got an ace. These kids and their phones nowadays. Yeah. Yeah, the players also let her know, hey, you're going to get on the phone. Yep. So not only a dealer letting her know, the players saying, hey. Rolando picking up a hand here with the ace-queen, taking it up to 30. And it looks like Jeff is going to call with the dead man's hand. Heads up we go. Both players sharing an ace. Jeff checking dark, and he's going to hit an 8.
They're trying to ban it right now. They're trying to ban that right now. So they're going to ban, I'll tell you right now, they're going to ban the Delta 9. So all the smoke shops, if you know anyone in the smoke shop, you might want them to find another job because that's getting banned 100%. I'll get it back. Delta 9. Delta 9 is getting banned. So the smoke shops can shut down.
Diamond on the turn. It's going to go check all the way down, and Jeff is going to suck out with the 8.
That's exactly what this is.
They may be the casualty. They may be the casualty. If they go down, it's simply because Delta 9. Delta 9 is going to get, I believe we'll get back. I'm pretty sure it's going to the next
Or nationwide.
for the state. So if you're at a smoke shop and they're like, they don't even know.
Yeah, Fletcher chatting in the chat. As I said, we are live on the YouTube chat, and this is going to be very weird. This is a Freaky Friday. For the second time tonight, I'm agreeing with Fletcher. I only go once, as do I. You can only get lucky once.
You probably got like,
Go to the shops and
they're going to have like 2 or 3 months probably.
So Kyle with the K and the J, raising it up to 21. Coach Mike calling with the Jack 8. Rolando calling with the King 3. So Kyle and wow, Oh, it was Doneto had ace king suited. I thought it was Ringo with the ace king suited. So Ringo makes the call with the best hand on the button. Doneto away from his seat would have had ace king of diamonds.
I mean, like, can they test it? Like, will they stop it? Or
It's so hard to test. I mean, but what's gonna happen is now, once it's banned, it's gonna be easy. It's gonna be like, make it easier for them.
what's the reasoning? Why?
Because like no kids are getting high, bro, and like it's real easy. Yeah.
So the dealer letting the production crew know exactly the bet sizing, getting that straightened out, and it's coming 9 high with 2 diamonds. Jeff flopping a flush draw. Ringo flopping middle pair, and everybody else missing. Kyle, your pre-flop raiser, gonna put out the continuation bet here. Betting about a third of the pot. Ringo with middle pair, very coordinated board. Thinking about calling in position. And he's going to let it go. Jeff is not going to let go of his hand as he has a flush draw. Jeff does not want to see a jack as he is outkicked by Kyle. Jeff checking dark, normally a sign of weakness. Oh, Jeff hitting the diamond on the turn. Let's see if Kyle thinks about representing the flush or if that card is going to shut Kyle down. Very, very scary turn. But Kyle's not scared, sliding out $100. And Jeff going to be putting in the min raise, and Kyle going to have to let it go. But I don't think Kyle's going to let it go right away, as Kyle seems to be a very deliberate player. A lot of players believe in the timing tells. I'm not saying that that's right or wrong, but he wants to keep up his same timing tells. So he's going to think about it before he folds. On the flip side of the coin, I'm sure if he had the flush here, he would be thinking the same amount of time as he is right now. But he's going to let it go. So still only 3 players in the green. And that is going to be Doneto, Coach Mike, and the player with 3 first names, Danny Paco Jeff. Everybody else, down in a hole. $6 button straddle coming from Josh. As I said, Josh joining us tonight from Austin. And I think, haven't confirmed yet, but I think I'm actually going to be doing a remote stream on Wednesday from Austin. Done it a couple of times before. TCH Social going to be streaming on this channel Wednesday night. So I'm not going to be able to use the big booth. They're going to send me upstairs. If you've ever been to TCH Social, there's an upstairs area. They have a conference room, and normally I get set up there to call the remote stream. And I think I will be in Austin this week working. Ringo raising it up with his blackjack hand. Jeff with the 7s makes the call. Kyle with the worst ace makes the call. And All in Joe says pot odds. Closes off the action. And we are going 4 ways to a flop. queen high flop. So All and Joe calling for pot odds, and he gets rewarded. He might bet here. I actually like a bet here, having no clubs in your hand, but he likes to check. And he will check to the aggressor, who checks behind. And now he hits trip queens. Jeff might lead out here. Oh, big bet by Jeff. Betting about 2/3 of the pot. Smooth call by All and Joe, and to the river we go. 2 clubs, 2 diamonds on the board, and it's going to be a king that might slow down Jeff. It does. I like a small bet here, maybe about 25%, about 100. Oh, wow. He checks it back. Sometimes you go for value on the river, and sometimes you have showdown value. I think All and Joe had better than showdown value there. I think he had a value bet in the barrel, but he did just check it down.
King queen check on the river. King queen check.
So Coach Mike up $129 from the poker, but you add $600 to that because he did hit the high hand, and he was paid in chips. So his stack is actually $11.29. You can see the green chips on top of his stack, and of course that is the procedure. Big chips in front or on the top of your stack have to be visible at all times. Doneto back from his smoke break, limping with the king jack. Ringo's not going to limp. Ringo's going to take it up to 30 with the 9s. Danny Paco Jeff with the 3s making the call. Kyle letting go, as is Rolando and Doneto as well. So the battle of the pocket pairs. Johnny Ringo way out in front right now. And it's going to be all diamonds. So now Danny Paco Jeff picking up a flush draw. It's only a 3-high flush draw. Let's see what Johnny Ringo does. Johnny Ringo is actually a part-time dealer here at the Texas Card House, and he is also a part-time high school referee. I know he is a ref for football and basketball, I believe, are the 2 sports. And from what I understand, it's one of those industries, one of those jobs where there is a pretty big shortage on refs. So not a bad little part-time gig. Especially like if you played sports in high school or enjoy sports. I know Ringo has told me in the past they're always looking for refs. Suited queen for Rolando. He will make the call. Doneto with the fold. So there was a straddle of $7. There was a straddle of $7 all in, Joe. And everybody just going to call the 7. So we will go 5 ways to a flop. Open ender for Coach Mike. Open ender for all in Joe. Top pair for Rolando. Ooh. Danny Paco Jeff hidden. Top set. Very coordinated board. And Coach Mike going to hit the nuts on the turn with the 7-6. Danny Paco Jeff should be raising here, I think. Clear out some of these players. Normally he should be good in this spot, but we could see he is not. Put it on the raise. I think 100 would have been better, but he thinks 60 or 70. I actually like the $70 raise against one opponent, but you can see that Coach Mike bet 20 and got called in 2 spots. So you do want to clear out some players as there is a flush draw and a straight draw. Oh, Kyle.
Fine, shoot it.
Kyle going all in, hitting the case 8. And now what does Coach Mike do? Coach Mike turning the nuts, betting $20, getting 2 calls and getting 2 raises. Wow. So Kyle drawn dead. He is the player who moved all in. And I don't know if Coach Mike is Hollywooding a bit here, trying to draw some other players in, or if he's considering raising. So it is a $150, $54 all in. So $134 for Coach Mike to call. He announces raise. And is it 3? It's a min raise, I believe. Yeah, 354. 354. Danny Paco Jeff with top set here. I don't think he can fold. You have top set, you always have outs. You always have outs. But he thinks one of these players has a straight, and he is correct. But I still don't think he can fold top set here. So he does have a decision. He's not thinking about raising, but I think he's actually thinking about folding. It'll be the right fold, at least with the cards they have right here. GTO-wise, I don't think this is the right fold. The book, the solver, the poker solver, I'm pretty sure this is a call all day, and pretty sure the solver actually mixes in calling and raising here. I don't think the GTO wizard ever would fold in this situation. He does have $800 behind. So if he does make the call, he'll still be left with about $500. Only one hand beats you. No, I take that back. The ace-3 beats you as well. Ace-3 and 3-6 beats you. So there are multiple combinations of straight draws that beat you. Oh, he's asking Coach Mike if he has a straight. He's actually thinking about folding here. Oh, he folds the set face up. And Kyle cannot believe it. Kyle's all like, I'm going all in here with just an 8 and you're folding a set? Wow. So we saw Jeff avoid a disaster earlier, folding a straight and a flush draw on the turn. And now, Danny Paco Jeff does the same by folding a set. Wow.
He could be the worst case scenario. He's like on a flush draw.
This was already 300 in there. If I risk it,
So Kyle gonna have to rebuy. Coach Mike winning a big pot. Of course, he has all those green chips from the high hand he hit earlier.
it happened to me before when I want to be greedy.
So exactly 2 hours into tonight's stream, if you still have not hit the like button, make sure you do take care of that. That's how I get paid. And I will remind you again about our event coming up. As a matter of fact, we have satellites to the event, and they're taking place right now. It is 9:34, so we do have turbos every night. Every night for the next week at 9 o'clock. Turbo tournaments, 4 seats guaranteed. Yeah, so that table is already running. The turbo satellite is already running, and day 1B, that flight is also underway, or has been underway since 6 o'clock. So got a couple of tables for flight B, a couple of tables for the turbo, and we have Ash Cash back in the box.
300 for 800.
No, you flat pro, you get all the money. But then the river was a brick.
Yeah, but it's a 50-50 bid and a flop.
So the players still can't believe the top set was folded on the turn. Kyle, perhaps steaming from that last hand, making the call here with the Queen 6 offsuit. And you can see he's in bad shape as Rolando raising with the King Queen, so he has him dominated. Josh making the call.
Then you play slow, low ball. How you call that?
So 5 ways to the flop we go. And it's going to be a big flop for Josh. Talked about this a couple of times tonight. These are the hands that you like to check raise with. But he's not going to be given the option to check raise as Rolando going to lead out. So definitely calling, might be raising. Jeff has bottom pair. Kyle and Rolando with the queen. Jeff just ordered dinner, so he's probably going to let this go. Looks like he got some wings from next door. Somebody was asking on the Wednesday night stream, how is the nightlife around the Texas Card House RGV? And I'm all like, we got a wings place right next door. Stadium Wings.
What did you put me on? What did you put me on? Okay, well, honestly, if you put me on the flush draw, it's probably the place. I was wrong.
Yeah, so Josh not going to be able to fold here as he does have a flush draw and a straight draw. And Kyle is in dire straits, needing to hit a 6 that is not a spade. Kyle hasn't called yet, though, but Josh is checking to see how much Kyle has in his stack, because Kyle will have the option to raise if Josh just calls here.
You won the hand.
That'll be better play, more money.
So straight draw and a flush draw for Josh, and he is cutting out some chips here.
Damn if you do, damn. He gets all my stack with the 10.
Ooh, he lets it go.
Even if you do a small bet, I'm going to re-raise you. Or
Is Kyle going to let it go? I don't think Kyle's going to let it go.
oh, yeah, for sure. But it didn't pair.
But what about it would happen? I would be fun.
Yeah, as I said, Kyle, perhaps the most deliberate player at the table. And like I said, Kyle's not folding. The pot's too big. Less than $100 to call.
What do you guys think?
Kyle has 2 outs left. Picking up the 6 of spades now. And the king kicker's going to play.
I'll put you in the same. Your percentage and I see it to draw.
Yeah, so right next door at Texas Card House RGV, there's a wing place. But they show all the UFC fights for free. So it sometimes gets pretty busy here on Saturdays. And then right next to the little shopping strip here is a walk-ons.
I lost $300 with 1 queen and a dick. One, because I had one. The other guy had pockets. I had straight, and the guy fucking flipped it in the river. It was a good day.
No straddle this hand, as action will be on Don Neto, who is up over $1,000. 2 other players up over $400. Everybody else in the red. Don Neto with the suited cards should be making the call. No, he folds. Josh with the suited connectors, raising it up. Looks like 12. Jeff making the call.
I was trying to protect my card.
If you just flag the board pair. If you flag the
You
board
know
pair.
what I'm talking about, wait? I see it happen so many fucking times.
It does. A lot of crazy shit happens.
So Jeff making the call. Danny Paco, Jeff doing the same.
You too.
And looks like we are going 5 ways to a flop. A lot of 5-way flops tonight. That's Dave Chappelle's favorite number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th. Oh, and it's a 10 coming on the flop. Both Josh and Jeff with the 10. Flush draw for Danny Paco Jeff. He has a straight flush draw. 5 of hearts gives him a straight flush. He folds a straight flush draw. What is going on here? Oh, All of Joe also with a 10. So the case 10 showing up. And Josh gets away from his hand. I guess All and Joe also folded. Wow.
Public servant can't drink in public.
It's showing that an ace came on the turn, but that was just when the dealer moved the deck over the reader. So the circles in front of the players, kind of like a little bullseye, a circle within a circle within a circle. Those are the RFID readers. These are special cards. They have a computer chip inside, and that's how we're able to see the players' cards. But also, the square that you see there in the table, right in the center of the table, that square, right under the Texas Card House Rio Grande Valley, that also has sensors in it, and that's how we're able to see what the flop is. So you'll see at the end of each hand, the dealer takes the cut card, which also has sensors on it, and once the dealer runs the cut card over that rectangle, that lets the software know that the hand is over.
No están cayendo para OU, outside shot.
Everybody just calling the $6. Limpin' is pimpin' here at the Texas Card House RGV as Don Neto flops I was going to say the nuts, but technically it's not the nuts. 9-10 of diamonds is the nuts. But Don Neto flops an ace-high flush draw. Somebody has a 5 of diamonds, and that's Rolando. And I don't think Rolando's... We saw We saw somebody fold a straight flush draw earlier. Rolando is not the type of player to fold a straight flush draw. So he has the 5 of diamonds here. He is going to make the call as Johnny Ringo leading out with top pair here. And like I said, Rolando is not folding a straight flush draw. And I think in general, you should not. Doneto with the nut flush. Does he raise here? He does announce raise. 75. Quick call from Johnny Ring. Quick fold from Johnny Ringo. Josh is going to be folding as well, but Rolando is not folding a straight flush draw. He only has one out left, the 10 of diamonds. He does not know that Doneto has the 4 of diamonds in his hand. But Rolando will be making the call looking for the 10 of diamonds, and it's available. Excuse me, the 9 of diamonds. The 9 of diamonds is available. So Rolando has one out. It is the 9 of diamonds. That is not it. He does hit his straight, which might get him in trouble here, because now he has a straight to go along with his straight flush draw. Doneto announcing another bet, and another 75. Rolando's not folded. He might even raise. Oh, Rolando's raising. Quick call here by Doneto, and Rolando's going to have to hit the 9 of diamonds. Rolando showing Doneto the 5 of diamonds. Normally he would have 2 outs here, but Doneto with the 4 of diamonds in his hand. So will we see a straight flush? There's the river, and no, he did not hit it. Doneto showing the flush. I don't know what the river is, but I know it wasn't the last. I know it wasn't the 9 of diamonds. So I don't know if Rolando's going to buy in, but if he doesn't, I do know we have a decent list. He's already bought in a couple of times, and I think that's going to do it for him. So seat open on the stream table. Like I said, I do know we have a list. So it looks like Josh put it on the $10 under the gun straddle as Doneto is approaching the 2. Well, he has over 2,000 in his stack, but he was in for 400, I believe, maybe 300. No, he was in for 300. 300's the minimum in this stream game. I know the blinds say 1-3, but this game definitely plays bigger. Plays a lot like a 5-10 you will find in Vegas. Jeff with the pocket pair, even though he's eating, I'm pretty sure he's going to be calling. So somebody asking on the stream how the satellites work. It's basically a tournament that gets you into the tournament. Kind of like a first step. If you win the satellite, you win your way into the tournament. Ace coming on the flop. Jeff with the quick check, and he will let it go. So the buy-in is 125. However, if you want to try to satellite in, you can play in one of these satellites that will be running for the next week, every night at 9. And it's a turbo. It's a turbo, but 4 seats are guaranteed. 4 seats are guaranteed. So if you win the turbo, it doesn't matter how many chips you have at the end. You can have you can have 90% of the chips to play, or you can literally just have one chip left. But if you win a seat in the satellite, then that gets you a ticket into the main event. And you're able to play whatever flight you want there. So satellite's essentially like a little discount that gets you a seat into the main. Saves you $100. Kyle with the queens. Not a lot has been going good for Kyle tonight. We'll see if the ladies turn it around for him here. Don Neto, par. He has the 10s, making the call. And he actually wants to see an ace or a king on the flop. Because if this flop comes like 9 high, Don Neto's not folded. Queen high, Kyle flopping top set. Don Neto's not folding to 1 bet, but Kyle does check. Don Neto's still going to call a reasonable bet here. Don Neto's calling up to 75. Kyle checking again, trying to trap. And now the king comes. I think Don Neto will call probably up to $50 here. But Kyle's going for a bigger sizing. Oh, Kyle says all in. So Kyle was pretty short stack, playing the hand, waiting for his opponent to catch something. And his opponent never caught anything. So in general, let's see here. So if it's $20, the buy-in, so it'll be 6 players. 6 would get to 120, right? So then, so probably like 1 out of every 7 players. Probably like 1 out of every 7 players will get a seat. There are 4 seats guaranteed. So at the end of the buy-in period for the satellites, they will let the players know how many seats are available. And as long as you finish in that position, so there's 4 guaranteed. And as soon as the 5th player gets eliminated, those 4 players automatically get a ticket. So it doesn't matter if they're the chip leader, it doesn't matter if they're the short stack. If they're one of the last 4 players standing, the tournament stops there. The tournament does not go on there. The tournament stops there, and those players get a seat into the monster stack. So Kyle, with queens the previous hand, now has ace-king suited. He's going to raise it up to 35. Oh, Don Neto not in his seat. Don Neto had queens. The second time that Don Neto is away from his seat that he misses a big hand. Maybe he's going to miss the flop here. Oh, Jeff hitting a pair and a straight draw. Kyle going to go all in. And Jeff should be calling here with his top pair and straight draw, and does. Now let's see if Don Neto would have won with his queens. Jeff going to need a 10 or an 8. I believe they're going to run it twice. I'm sure this makes Fletcher happy. They're going twice. So for sure this makes Fletcher happy. So picking up more outs. And he's going to miss the first time. Queens would have won. Just saying. All right, they're going to chop it up. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. I thought it was Kyle. Kyle had queens the previous hand. So actually Kyle's going to get scooped. Kyle needed to hit an ace or a king. He had queens the previous hand, and Don Neto had queens. So I thought Jeff had to hit, but Jeff did not have to hit. So Kyle going to be rebuying. Believe they're going to be showing the VPIP pretty soon.
No, maybe Islam versus
So Don Neto's old school. Don Neto only runs it once. So Don Neto could have been up over $2,000 if he did not take a smoke break. So Kyle down 800, but he is coming back in. Kyle down 800. Two other players with $800 in their stack. There's the rebuy. Kyle with the stack of green chips. And here comes Kyle again. Okay, yeah, Kyle's getting change. So Kyle, king 6 suited, making the call, making sure that Coach Mike Coach Mike with the ace. He's going to be making the call as well. All in Joe with the suited connectors. Might be raising here. He will be raising. Looks like a small raise. Up to 25. Surprisingly, seat number 1 is still open. I know we had a couple of people waiting. So we're actually playing 8-handed, and Don Neto's away from his seat, which means we're playing 7-handed. Oh, Josh put out the Strato to $6 on the button, and he's making the call here with the spades. Kyle hitting a king, and he checks. Pre-flop raiser was All in Joe, and he's going to put out the continuation bet. Looks like 40. Kyle with top pair makes the quick call, and we will go heads up to a turn. All in Joe going to need a lot of help here. 5 for All in Joe, so he's going to have to go runner 5, as Kyle has a 6. Action is on Kyle here. Looks like he's going to lead out. 75. So about a third of the pot. A little bit less than a third. All in Joe betting with nothing on the flop. Now he picks up a pair. And he's thinking about calling. Kyle did start the hand with 500 behind. So I think All in Joe is going to stick around. And he might even raise it here. Yeah, it looks like 250. Kyle with top pair here. Oh, Kyle lets it go. I believe this is Kyle's third buy-in. So playing a little bit different. Nice play there by All in Joe, who still has not gone all in tonight. Maybe it's one of those ironic nicknames. You know, like the huge guy that's called Tiny.
lost the last 2 rounds for stupidity, but he was way ahead.
The last thing I went for, I told him about me with that last fight.
Pacquiao. Pacquiao retired.
All in Joe winning the last hand with a bluff. Going to be raising it up to this hand with the suited connectors. Don Neto back in his seat. Don Neto with the ace making the call. Ringo doing the same. And Josh with the Dolly Parton makes the call. Looks like everybody's calling this $15 raise. Kyle might put out a squeeze play here. Nope. Very similar spot happened earlier, and he ran a squeeze play. But like I said, this is his third buy-in, so I think he's changed his strategy a bit. Everybody calls the raise, so we are going 8 ways to the flop. And did anybody hit a pair? Yes. Kyle hit in middle pair. Coach Mike hit in bottom pair. All in Joe hit in middle pair. But nobody's interested in betting. Ooh, Josh is going to really small bet here from Josh. Betting 20 into 120. Tiny bet. Oh, Danny Paco Jeff hitting top pair, just calling. And this is going to bring along some other players. Ringo with a gut shot needing a 9. He should be making the call. Or is he thinking about raising here? This is such a small bet. But he's closing the action, so he's going to take his massive pot odds here, needing a 9. Five on the turn. So Josh, who bet the flop with nothing, now picks up a pair. And Danny Paco Jeff checking his top pair again. All in Joe turning a flush draw to go along with his middle pair. He actually has the best equity right now. But he's going to check. I think everybody's confused about this hand. First it was a family pot with the $15 bet pre-flop. Everybody called that. So there was 120 in there pre-flop, and then Josh bet out $20 on the flop, and pretty much everybody called that. And now that he has hit a pair, he's sizing it up to 60. Still a small bet relative to the size of the pot, which is now $300. And now All in Joe might make a move. We saw him make a move the previous hand on the turn when he picked up some outs. And let's see what he does here, as Coach Mike has a pair and a straight draw. All in Joe with a pair and a flush draw. Sees that there's $420 in the pot. And he's thinking about raising. He's not folding. He's either calling or raising. But he's thinking about raising. $420 in the pot. Not making this up. It's a true story. Yeah, he's cutting out raisin chips. He's going to take it up to 300. And that's going to get rid of, should get rid of Ringo, should get rid of Josh. I don't know what Danny Paco Jeff is going to do with top pair here. He has a straight draw with the 4 needing a 6. And Mike has an open-ended straight draw with a pair. Josh has a pair and a gut shot. Probably thinks to himself, why did I bet the turn? think the better question would have been, why didn't you bet the flop? $720 in the pot now. So what is that, 2 turns? Right, so 180's half a turn, 360 full turn. Yeah. So Danny Paco Jeff, what is he going to do? It's still showing Josh has cards, but now the system has seen him fold. So he has the best hand now that the queen has folded, and the best draw with the flush draw. Coach Mike's sitting on all those green chips. Let's see what he does. He's going to let it go. So back-to-back aggressive plays on the turn by All and Joe is going to earn him 2 big pots. So hand 43. Normally we get between 80 and 100 hands in. 80 on the low side, 100 on the big side. Normally the number falls somewhere around that area. We still have an hour and a half to go in tonight's stream. And surprisingly, seat number 1 is still empty. Maybe the players that were waiting on the list decided to enter the big tournament that we're running right now. Try to get qualified for day number 2. So All and Joe not going to be able to make the 10-5 work. He'll let it go. Doneto does the same. Ringo with the Queen 4 of clubs, raising it up from the low jack to 15. 15 en español. Danny Paco Jeff calling on the button with the Jack 9. And Kyle with the best hand makes the call. And we're going 3 ways to a Jimmy Johnson flop. $48 in the middle. 9 high flop. Danny Paco Jeff flopping top pair. Ringo hits a pair. Looks like he's going to continue on here and does. $25 bet. Quick call from Danny Paco Jeff. And Ringo gonna need, Ringo picking up more outs here with the club. Does he continue on? He checks. And Danny Paco Jeff checks behind. He's gonna wind up with 2 pair. And Ringo gonna check again. I don't think he's going to call a bet here with a 4, but he might. Less than a half pot size bet. Bets 40. Johnny Ringo has a 4. Might be a subliminal message for him to call. And it does. So a Jedi mind trick there from Danny Paco Jeff, getting Ringo to call the 40. With the 4 in his hand. So you got the 20K starting stack. If you get here on time, early bird bonus of 5K. There's also an add-on available. $100 gets you 30K. But the actual buy-in's $125, as there will be 19 different flights. One of them started this morning. One of them's going on right now. And then there'll be one every day for the next 8 days. One at 1 p.m., one at 6 p.m. 12.5% cash, 8% advance to day 2. And you're able to bring your top two bags. Top two bags, you can bring them through. And as I said, we're also running a turbo satellites every night at 9 p.m. for the next 8 days. So 9 p.m., $20. It is a turbo, so it is 12-minute levels, 12-minute levels. 10K starting stack, 10K add-ons.
No, I don't think there's any other. So we're getting the final four. Okay. I don't think we're doing any of the divisions.
Full life.
I went to the final four the last year. But I don't know if they don't care about like the seats. It's just about the capacity.
Oh, Kyle playing his butt in here, raising it up. No, wait, he just called. It's a double straddle? Is it a double straddle? Is that what's going on? Yeah, it's a double straddle. So it went from $6 under the gun, $12, and Ringo going to be exercising his option here and raises it up to 50 with the King Queen of Diamonds. So nice raise by Ringo, getting rid of the riffraff. Looks like Ringo, I don't know if he added on, but he does have black chips in front. So we do have 4 different chips in play, 4 different chip colors in play. It's a good thing Newbie isn't playing because he is colorblind. But there is a white chip, which is $1, a red chip, which is $5, a green chip, which is $25, and the black chip is $100. So pretty standard. Red chip being worth $5, green chip being worth $25, and a black chip being worth $100. Pretty standard for everywhere except California, because they do things different on the left side of the country. They do stuff different, but not all the stuff is bad. Don Neto, bet in his pair, par es par. Kyle calling here. With King High. So I think Kyle has some plans on the turn, but I don't know if Kyle knows that Don Neto does not fold pairs. I believe All in Joe folded. Yeah, All in Joe folded, so it heads up. No, Kyle checks. Kyle checks. Now Kyle checks the ace as well. Don Neto going to show the 5s, and the 5s are good. These players want that other seat to be filled. And I don't know if I say this every stream, but I do know I say this a lot. And I know it's an unpopular opinion. But I actually do not mind playing 10-handed. And yes, I know it is a bit uncomfortable when you play 10-handed. But let me break it down for you, especially in a casino. In a casino, I 100% do not mind playing 10-handed. So you have 10 stacks at the table. It does not mean you have 10 people at the table. You can see right now, there's 1 stack empty. So normally the way it goes is somebody is always not at their seat. They're on a smoke break. They're in the bathroom. They ran to the sports book to place a bet. They went to dinner with friends or family. So there's one person that is not at the table. Always one person at the table. Then, especially in Vegas, you have like the local grinders that are just waiting on the premium hands. They're waiting on the aces and kings. So even though they're sitting out at the table, they really don't count. So to me, in my mind, when I sit down at a 10-handed table at a casino, it's really 8-handed. And once again, I do know it is more uncomfortable.
Remember the start to win.
It already started. I think today was the first day.
Today's the first day of the tournament, or the first day of Today's the first day of day one. What time is it?
Laura, table 9?
I think mostly everybody's back to 9-handed. There's still some places that are 8-handed, and I have experienced it myself, especially last summer with these 8-handed tables. You hear the floor on the microphone announcing, if you're playing at table 27, you need to return to your table because it's about to break. Because a lot of times when somebody busts, the seat does not get filled right away. So if you're playing at an 8-handed table, somebody busts, so it's 7-handed, and then somebody is away from the table, so it's 6-handed. All it takes is one person to cash out, and then somebody else says, you know what, I'm going to cash out as well. So it's very, very fragile.
Is Jeffrey the weakest link?
Tens for Don Neto. Par es par. Don Neto way out in front right now. Josh with the suited queen, second best. And Josh is going to hit a straight draw. And All in Joe is going to hit a straight with the straight flush redraw. Check. Ooh, he's going to put out a small bet. Don Neto has an overpair. He's not folding. So All in Joe flopping the nuts with the redraw to the nuts. Looks like an Omaha hand, but it is a Hold'em hand. Kyle making the call here as well. Spade for fun? Is that a straight flush? No, it needed to be the 4 of spades. So All in Joe's hand keeps getting better. And Don Neto's going to keep calling with his overpair. Kyle will release. And Don Neto actually wants to see a heart, because that might get him to fold his overpair. I think Don Neto's calling up to $100. And the bet's 115. So I thought he would call 100. All in Joe thinks he'll call 115. And you can see Don Neto is cutting it out. Par es par. And he's going to see the straight and a flush. So All in Joe with a, not a straight flush, but a flush straight. So Don Neto losing that hand, but I'm pretty sure he's still out in front. And I'm pretty sure All in Joe is now in the green. Let us see. And yes, indeed. Don Neto still out in front. And All in Joe now in the green. So now 4 players in the green. 4 players in the red. The have and have-nots. Kyle down over 8,000.
6-5.
Straddle from Under the Gun, $6. Kyle making the call. Coach Mike away from his seat. Doneto making the call with the suited connectors. Yes, they are connected if you use an extension cord. Suicide King on the flop. That is the King of Hearts, the only king without a mustache. Queen on the turn. That's going to give Josh the best hand, but he's going to check it. And now, Danny Paco Jeff going to put out a small bet here. Bet in a fourth of the pot. Quick call from Josh. And to the river we go. Josh winding up with the best hand, going to check it. Danny Paco Jeff going to have to bluff, but it looks like the sizing's going to be too small. $50 in the pot. He bets $20 and gets an immediate call and an immediate muck. No player showing their hand, as Josh does not have to show his hand because Danny Paco Jeff mucked. You can see on the tablet there, this hand taking place at 10:06. 10:06, you add the 15-minute delay. You add the 15-minute delay, so that is the difference. So somebody taking the seat,
Barrels, table 9.
seat 1, looks like he's coming in for 500. So we got Coach Mike, and in seat 1 is Boxing Coach. So 3 boxing coaches tonight playing the stream. One of them got knocked out earlier. One of them hit the high hand earlier. And one of them just taking his seat. $6 button straddle from Josh. Coach Mike making the call. Boxing coach folding his first hand. Doneto with the ace-5 makes the call. Ringo with the queen jack might put out a raise here. And he announces 35. KD tray 5. Somebody's going to call. And that somebody is Danny Paco Jeff with 10-9 offsuit. Out of the big blind. So he's going to be out of position this entire hand. The aces of Coach Mike and Doneto also making the call. As we see a 6-high flop, so a gut shot straight draw for Danny Paco Jeff. $147 in the pot, and he's going to lead. He should be betting bigger as he bets about 25% of the pot. Doneto making the call with his 5. And we will go heads up to a turn. Doneto still leading the way. And if you still don't know, Doneto does not like to fold pairs. And Doneto's going to be making the call here. To the river we go. Danny Paco Jeff going to hit a 7, 9, or 10. And instead, the board is going to pair. $247 in the pot. Danny Paco Jeff waving the white flag. Doneto showing his pair for the $247 pot. So nice hand for Don Neto as he's going to pad his stack. Now he is up $1,800. All in Joe in second place. He's up $500. Danny Paco Jeff up $300, and Coach Mike up $200. That is not taking into account the $600 that he won for the high hand. No straddle this hand. Action will be on Coach Mike, making sure his cards getting scanned properly. Squeezes them. Doesn't I was going to say doesn't like what he sees, but he does like what he sees. All in Joe folding the ace. Don Neto with the suited cards. Oh, Don Neto raising. Putting his chips to work here. Taking the suited cards and taking it up to 17. Jeff calling here with the Queen 9. And Coach Mike doing the same. Boxing coach does the same as well. So best hand right now, Queen 9 offsuit. We're going 4 ways to a flop, and it's going to be King High. So a gut shot for Jeff. A gut shot for boxing coach. But it's going to go check around. 4 on the turn changes nothing. First to bet is probably going to win here. And check around again. 6 on the river. Queen High is going to win this $72 pot if nobody bluffs. Coach Mike thinking about bluffing? No. So Queen 9, Jeff is going to win this pot with Queen 9. He checks. And let's see if any player shows their cards. Yeah, Jeff's not going to believe that he is going to win this pot with Queen High. He finally shows, figuring out that his Queen High is good. Looks like a lot of players at the table catching up with the March Madness. Don't know if there's been any, I'm sure there's been upsets today. I just really haven't heard, as I've been in the booth here for the last 3 hours. Straddle from All in Joe under the gun. 6 or 7. Action's going to be on the boxing coach. Queen Deuce. Ringo with the suited King 9. Looks like 21, 25. So Ringo from the low jack, raising the straddle. Jeff with the ace, making the call. And it is folded around to All in Joe, who has the double down hand. Nice hand for blackjack, not so much so in poker. And he will fold, as it's the battle of the Jays, Johnny and Jeff. With a jack on the flop. No, no jack on the flop. It's a king on the flop. So Johnny Ringo flopping top pair was your pre-flop raise. You're going to put out the continuation bet, and Jeff will get out of the way. Jeff will get out of the way. Jeff will get out of the way. Third time's the charm. Don't forget about the Hijack Poker app. Play poker online and earn real cash. Hijackpoker.com is the website. There is also a link on the Texas Card House website. And more importantly, you could cash out at any of the 6 locations across the state of Texas. That's right. If you live in Texas, you can now play poker on the go, poker on your phone on the Hijack app. $10 button straddle announced. Doneto with the king queen just makes the call. Ringo curious on what Josh had. And you know what they say, curiosity killed the cat. Just the call here from Danny Paco Jeff. Ten-high flop, Coach Mike hitting top pair. Thinking about leading out. Double checking his cards. Sees what he likes, and he's going to bet about 2/3 pot, 30 into 43. Doneto not ready to let go of his face cards just yet. Gut shot for Danny Paco Jeff. And Kyle making the call here with bottom pair. 3 of spades on the turn. Coach Mike now checking, which leads everybody else to check. And there's the jack for Danny Paco Jeff. Does complete some straight draws, but he is going to check. And he's going to win the pot. So it looks like we have a dealer change come in. So we have exactly 1 hour left in tonight's stream. If you still have not hit the like button, make sure you take care of that. That's how I get paid. So 1 hour to go. Can Doneto get to the $2,000 profit? He has $2,000 in his stack, but he did buy in for $300 or $400. So let's see if he's able to get. And can Kyle get unstuck? Kyle has an hour to win $1,000 to get unstuck. So exactly 1 hour to go in tonight's stream. Just over an hour. Doneto putting out the $10 live straddle UTG that's under the gun. So action will be on Johnny Ringo, who lets go of his 7-8. Josh making the call with his Jack-9. Jeff with the king high, slowly squeezing his cards and flicks them in. King 10 offsuit for Danny Paco Jeff. And all in Joe with the suited connectors. Hand plays very well post flop. He will make the call. And everybody does the same. And we are going 6 ways to a flop. King high flop, Danny Paco Jeff flopping top pair, Kyle flopping middle pair, as does boxing coach. Open ender for all in Joe. And it's gonna go check around. 9 on the turn. Danny Paco Jeff still with the best hand. Josh picking up second pair now. And everybody else still has their draws. Looks like we're going to get a bet now from Danny Paco Jeff. Looks like 20. Actually, he just called Josh's 20. And the open ender of All and Joe does the same. So 3 ways to the river. And it's going to be 2 pair for Danny Paco Jeff. Does go check. Josh going to put out a bet here with his 9. And just the call? Can never be too safe, I guess. So Danny Paco Jeff winning the pot, just calling the $30 bet on the river with 2 pair. Top 2 pair just calls the $30 on the river. Still waiting on the V-Pip. I know the production crew said they would flash it up around every 5 to 10 hands.
That's why they put it at this hour.
All the guys on the show,
Fake move.
hey, you know, I went to go see John. Wow. I went to go see Arkansas versus Texas at that courtside, and I had never seen. I would want to see party, right? Bro, he's like so positive, like he screams, but he's not really yelling at the players. He's yelling at the refs, and if the player screws up, he's like real, like he dabs them up and like real like supportive. And he does good, real supportive. He's like a real fucking good coach. Like when he's screaming, he's not yelling at the players, but he's yelling at the refs. And the other team.
So double straddle, saw this earlier, $6 under the gun. You are allowed to re-straddle as long as you double the initial straddle, and Josh does just that as Jeffrey is going to make the call with the ace-jack. Danny Paco Jeff also making the call. He's been catching a lot of cards tonight. All in Joe with the 7 deuces suited. Why not? Oh, All in Joe actually raising it up with the 7 deuce. I did not see that, but I do like the play. And looks like Don Neto is 3-betting him with the jacks. Yeah. Yeah, so All in Joe has to call. It's a min raise here. He got a little cute with the 7 deuce. I actually like the play. Uh-oh. Never mind about just him calling as Josh wakes up with kings. So Josh put it on the double straddle at the right time. He wakes up with kings. And Don Neto has a pair. Don Neto's not folded. It's kind of a small raise, but still Don Neto is not folded. Even if it was a big raise, Don Neto would call. So Don Neto's going to have to hit a jack if he wants to win this hand.
Any idea what direction Texas wants to go in basketball?
That's just thin, bro. It's like, I know they wanted Jay Wright. Been discussed before they hired Coach Cherry. Billy Donovan, I've heard. The guy from the
So are the 2 outs available? That is the question. Are the 2 outs available?
I think he should go for Patino.
He's got diamonds.
Even though he's up there in age, I think
Oh, he's going to need to go runner, runner, diamond, runner, runner, straight. No, he's drawn dead. So Josh started off the stream with about 5 all-ins in the first 20 hands. But this last hour of the stream, he's going to be winning a pretty big pot here against Don Neto. And somebody in the chat asking about the Rio Grande Valley area. It's actually a pretty large area down here, as it's probably, I mean, at least 1.5 million, and it is undercounted to begin with. But if you take account both sides of the border, it's well over 3 million. But there's really no big city. The biggest city is Brownsville, Texas, and that's just under 200,000. And then you have McAllen, which is about 150, 160. The city of Edinburg that we're in is the county seat, home to a branch of the University of Texas, UT RGV. City of Edinburg just over 100,000, but there's a lot of towns about 50 or 60,000, but there's not one huge city, so not a very well-known area, but that doesn't mean that it's not a big area. Rio Grande Valley, located 3 hours directly south of San Antonio. 3 hours directly south of San Antonio. Brownsville actually located on the southern tip of Texas. Brownsville home to SpaceX. Brownsville home to SpaceX. And then right on the other side of SpaceX. SpaceX located on Boca Chica Beach. And right on the other side of the water is South Padre Island, best beach in Texas. And it is really packed right now with all the spring break students. Don Neto picking up another pair. And he is raising once again with the pair. No action for Neto. Yeah, so Texas Card House, Rio Grande Valley, one of 6 Texas Card House locations across the state of Texas. 2 of them, perhaps the 2 busiest Texas Card Houses, located in North Texas. One of them in the city of Dallas. One of them next door in the city of Irvin. That's going to be TCH Las Colimas. And then you have 2 in East Texas. One of them in Houston. Oh, excuse me. One of them in Houston, located around the downtown area. And then one of them north of Houston in the city of Spring, Texas Card House Spring. Then you have one location in South Texas. That's us. Then you have the original location in Central Texas, located in the city of Austin. TCH Social Austin, located in the city limits. There's another card house that is in the Austin area that is located north of Austin. It is not located in the city of Austin. It's actually not even in the same county as most of the city of Austin, located in Travis County. So this other location claims to be in Austin. They are not. TCH Social Austin is in the city of Austin.
Dude, you gotta make that, man.
10 high flop, 2 spades, Don Neto with top pair. And looks like
After he misses a Leo.
Danny Paco Jeff going to be leading out here with bottom pair. Don Neto's not folding, so about a half pot size bet from Danny Paco Jeff coming here. And here comes the call from Don Neto. And Jeff also with a tray. He's thinking about calling as he does close the action. He does make the call. So 3 ways to the turn we go as Jeff checks dark. Picking up a straight draw now, as does Danny Paco Jeff, but his straight draw will not be good. He slows it down. Don Neto with top pair. Gonna slide out about a pot-sized bet. Looks like 125 into 127. So basically a pot-sized bet. Actually 130, just over a pot-sized bet. $3 over the pot. And this is gonna clear the other players out.
Which one? 7?
I think this is too much for Jeff to call.
Buckets.
He's actually wearing his ride-in jacket. You can see the padding on it.
Still a kid.
He is a licensed pilot, does fly jets, and rides sports bikes. It's either a Hayabusa or Abusa, as the kids call it, or a Kawasaki Ninja 1300 cc's. Oh, looks like Jeff is going to call here with his pair and straight draw. Does have a spade in his hand, so feels that his all of his outs are clean if he hits the straight. And what does Danny Paco Jeff do now? Okay, he folds. So just the one name, Jeff. You can see the outs that he has. A lot of sevens and deuces have been folded. And he's going to miss. It does go check, check, and Don Neto's going to win this $387 pot with a pair of tens. Yeah, there's good dove hunting in most of the valley, to be honest with you. Actually, I mean, I don't do a lot of hunting, but from the hunters I know, I'm not saying Brownsville's the worst spot in the Rio Grande Valley to dove hunt, but it's definitely not one of the top spots. There's a lot of other great dove hunting areas down here in the Rio Grande Valley. So $6 straddle under the gun for Danny Paco Jeff. Looks like he has some suited connectors. Coach Mike with 40% to a royal. Does he raise? I like a raise here, especially with the straddle. But he disagrees as he throws out two white chips and realizes that they're two white chips. And here comes the raise from All in Joe. Blackjack 21. Don Neto has a pair. Par es par. Te dije. Par es par. Y sí llama. Ringo doesn't like his kicker, but he likes his position being on the button. He is going to be making the call here. Josh out of the small blind. Lets go of his hand. Jeff with the 7-6 makes the call, and that's going to bring along Danny Paco Jeff. Coach Mike comes along as well, and just like that, we have a $150 pot. Jeff checking dark again. Jeff is first to act, checking dark. And here comes the flop. And it's going to be top pair for the two boxing coaches. Boxing coach, Jack, with a 10 kicker. And Coach Mike, who does more promoting than coaching now. You can actually see the name of his company there on his hoodie. Juarez Rolo Promotions. Jeff with middle pair here does have some backdoor straight draws, cutting out some chips. Just 9 high for Danny Paco Jeff, makes the quick fold. And we are going 3 ways to a turn. The former boxing coach, part-time boxing coach, full-time promoter out in front, Coach Mike. Ooh, and now the boxing coach with the counter hits the 10. And he's sliding out 100. Does boxing coach just go all in here? You can see the pot's already $400, yeah. He is raising. It looks like Don Neto is either getting ready to color up or getting ready to leave early. So $200 raise. Let's see if Coach Mike is able to get away from his hand here. has no spades, has no clubs,
And the other one's number 32.
but does have top pair. See, Jeff's already folded, but the camera's focused on him because the software still thinks he has a decision. So once he folds, then the camera will pan over to Coach Mike. As everything is automated,
32.
there are 5 cameras in this room, 1 in each corner, and then the overhead shot. And anytime the action is on a certain player, the software automatically switches to that player. So right now, software thinks that Jeff has a decision, but we can see he has already folded. The dealer relays this to the production crew. So either the dealer didn't relay the fold to the production crew, or the production crew did not hear, and that is why the camera is focused on Jeff, even though he has already folded.
Oh, floor. Live stream. Floor to stream.
So the other players watching the March Madness. Oh, so somebody called a clock. I don't know who called clock. I think it might have been boxing coach calling the clock, but it winds up not being in his favor as Coach Mike folds. So a clock was called.
Something told me it was good, way.
It was.
Dos pares o el set.
What is right?
So I don't think it had been that long of a decision. It was basically longer than normal, but I don't think it was anything excessive. But obviously somebody thought different.
Al rato la miro, güey. Si me bloqueaste, no te la vas a
No,
acabar.
I didn't bluff. I didn't bluff. It was not a bluff.
Le puse a dos pares y el set. Dije, tiene que tener algo así.
One of the two is it.
Una de esas
You'll
dos.
see it.
Así es. Dije, tiene que ser algo así. Es lo único que hace.
So as I said, I don't know if Doneto is coloring up or if he's going to be leaving a little early.
It was good. The turn was good.
5 call, 6 call, 7 call. Four players.
Is there a tournament series going on at Choctaw right now? I don't think there is, or a major tournament series. Choctaw, for those of you unfamiliar, I do realize we have people watching from literally around the world. I know somebody from New Zealand was on the chat earlier. But there is only one legal casino in Texas. Most people will say Texas does not have casinos, but that's not 100% true. Texas does have one casino. It's actually located here in South Texas, not the Rio Grande Valley area, but it is along the border. So Texas does have one Indian casino. There's the VPIP. Don Neto has the highest VPIP, and he is the biggest winner. Jeff in at 40%. You could see everybody in at least 30%. Yeah, everybody in. Yeah. Don Neto is leaving early, so everybody in at least 30%. Normally on the stream, you want to be at least 20%, and all these players playing the hands. All in Joe just calling and then standing up. What was that? Wow. called the $3, stood up, and Danny Baco Jeff is choosing a bad time to raise it out of the small blind. As here comes the back race. Three bets at 35 with the queens. Danny Baco Jeff making the call. I don't think I've played a lot with Coach Mike, or at all, but apparently he likes 10s, because he played 10-7 earlier where I thought he would fold, and now he's playing 10-6. One overcard to the queens, no reason to not put out a continuation bet here for All and Joe. I kind of like a less than half pot size, about 40% here, maybe about $40. Yeah, I like somewhere between 30 and 40% here, but it looks like, whoa, looks like Coach Mike is going to lead out here. Every once in a while, the cards will not scan properly, and this might be one of those situations, because this is a very interesting line for Coach Mike, but I think he had 10-6. Yeah, so there's one Indian casino here in Texas. It is called the Lucky Eagle, the Kickapoo tribe, located in Eagle Pass. So Eagle Pass is kind of like us, as they're on the border, the United States-Mexico border, which is separated by the Rio Grande River. So on the border in South Texas, but they're further upstream, basically between San Antonio and Laredo is where Eagle Pass is located. But they do have a casino that has slot machines, and it has a poker room. They don't have any table games, so it's not a full-fledged casino. Other than that, there is no other legal casino. There's another casino in the Houston area, like Lake Livingston, where they have slot machines that aren't actually slot machines. You're actually playing bingo on them. So they're kind of operating in a bit of a gray area, I think. At one time, they were a recognized tribe, and then the Texas decided not to recognize them as a tribe, even though I believe still the federal government is. So that's still kind of in the air, but they're operating with slot machines that are actually bingo machines. So the main casinos, so long story long, the main casinos that people in Texas drive to at least, in North Texas, one of them is Choctaw, one of them is Windstar. And they're both about an hour and a half north of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, depending on how fast you drive and where you live. Big flop for Johnny Ringo here, flopping 2 overcards with an open ender, and he's going to continue on here. And this should get the job done, as he bets just under half pot. Danny Baco Jeff not ready to give up on his ace. I could see maybe here with an ace of hearts, he could float, because you can represent the flush. But he's floating here with just ace high. Johnny Ringo going to slow down. Danny Baco Jeff quickly checks behind. And there's a queen for Johnny Ringo. Full house. And he's going to flick out a black chip. Hearts did miss. Oh, he got called. Yeah, hearts missed. And Danny Baco Jeff thought that Ringo had a heart draw. And he thought wrong. So Johnny Ringo with the $400 pot. That might get him unstuck. I know he was down a couple of $100, and now he won a couple of $100. So what does the action tracker, which keeps track of the stacks, says? What say you? That gets him almost unstuck. He's still down, but only $36.
That was probably the worst fucking turn.
So with Don Neto cashing out, we do have two players up $300. $10 button straddle coming from Kyle on the button. Kyle originally from Houston, now lives down here, has lived down here in Brownsville for a couple of years. Brownsville's actually about an hour drive from here. Still considered part of the Rio Grande Valley area. Made up of 4 counties, but the 2 biggest counties is the county that we're in right now, Hidalgo County, has over 800,000 people. And then you have Cameron County, where Brownsville's located, and they have about 400,000 people. Johnny Ringo just winning the last hand. Now putting on the 3-bet with the ace queen. All in Joe has a very pretty Jack 10 suited, and he's going to be making the call as we go heads up to a $240 pot. And All in Joe going to outflop Johnny Ringo, hitting a jack. He will check to the aggressor. Johnny Ringo with no heart in his hand. Basically has all his outs available to him with the exception of the queen of diamonds and the 10 of spades. Let's see if All in Joe puts out a bet here now that it went check, check on the flop. No, he's going to check again. Pot control out of position. And pot control no more as now he hits trips. Oh, checks it again and disappointed that Johnny Ringo doesn't bet. Tricky, tricky, All in Joe. I think he got a little too tricky. Checked it all away. Yeah, he just cashed out. He left a little bit early. He just cashed out. Don Neto. So Johnny Ringo put it on the straddle. Kyle with just the call, suited connectors. And everybody calling. 7 ways to a flop. 7 times 6, that equals 42, according to my public education math. Ten high flop, Kyle with the 10. But it is Jeff with the bet. Jeff bet him $15 with his second pair. Kyle going to be making the call. And everybody everybody else folds. Trips for Kyle as Jeff quickly checks, and Kyle assembles a bet. $25 bet. Kyle trying to get value here. Jeff taking his time. And it looks like he's going to make the call. To the river we go. Jeff checking dark again. And the Jack of Diamonds comes on the river. Let's see if Kyle puts out another small bet. And he's going to put out all of it. It's 84. And Jeff will make the quick fold. See if Josh puts out the straddle. As I said earlier, Josh joining us tonight from Austin.
Oh, we got a chance. Need a bucket. Oh no, buddy.
Josh does do a lot of traveling. I
Watch
know
that out, Coach.
he mentioned before the stream started that he actually was living in Chicago last year. So Josh with the under the gun straddle. Action's going to be on Jeff.
Small blind, big blind. 6 blind.
Jeff making the call with the 7-5. Kyle making the raise with the king. And Kyle going to take it down. Little raise and take action. So still got about half an hour to go in tonight's stream. Our next stream will be on Wednesday. We're streaming on the secondary channel as TCH Social in Austin. They have their weekly stream on Wednesday nights on this main channel, which is TCH Live Poker. That is the main channel. The secondary channel is Texas Card House. The easiest, best way to distinguish the two channels is the logo you see in front of your table. So the circle that has the spade, the diamond, the heart, and the club in it, that is the little logo, that is the little avatar for the secondary channel. Once again, 3 different words, Texas Card House. This channel, the main channel, TCH Live Poker, has a different little logo, different little avatar. That one says TCH Live on it. So that's the best, easiest way to determine the two channels. Like I said, we do stream on that channel every Wednesday night. I know we stream on the channel every week, and Houston, the Card House in Houston, streams on the channel every week. And the Card House in Dallas and the Card House in Austin, they will occasionally stream on that channel. Jack high flop, nobody with the jack. We did see the VPIP earlier, and everybody had at least a 30% VPIP, which is normally an above average. Normally, that means that the game is going to be above average, but going to be honest with you, this game tonight has been about average. Started off, and I think that's the reason why, because it started off really fast, and it did slow down. I mean, it's not like super slow, but compared to the start, it started off really fast, and now it's just kind of been in cruise control, still cruising along at a nice rate of speed, but nothing compared to when we first started. But I'm pretty sure that's going to change. Oh, Coach Mike bluffed earlier, and he's bluffing again here. All in Joe has not folded. Ollie Joe might look him up. He just asked him if he bluffs, and Coach Mike shook his head immediately. And now he's saying yes. Yuli might look him up because he hasn't played with Coach Mike before, so he might just call for information. And he'll be right if he makes the call. Coach Mike is talking even more, and it looks like it's going to work. Bad run out as any 10 now makes a straight. But the reason why I think it's going to speed up is normally the last 15 minutes, for whatever reason, there's always usually some craziness that happens. I think these players know the stream is getting ready to end, so they either want to make a move or they want to try to double up. So we got about 20 minutes to go on tonight's stream. Coach Mike just running the Bluffs, and now he's waking up with the ladies, the queens, and he's cutting out a lot of chips here as Kyle did raise to 15, takes it up to 50. I do like this sizing. Should be able to isolate Kyle, and then you're going to be playing the pot in position. And Kyle does indeed make the call. Wild 104, $104 in the pot. And it is going to be top set for Coach. Let's see if he continues to bet here with top set. No, he's going to mix in a check here. And now he's going to hit a full house. Now he kind of has to bet to start building a pot. Kyle checking. Coach Mike asking Kyle how much he has in his stack. And he's going to slide out 50. Kyle with the gut shot. But he is drawn dead as a 10 will do no good. And Kyle makes the fold. So Queen would have given Coach the high hand. And they have just let me know that actually I think the stream is going to end a little bit early tonight. So we have 4 hands to go on the stream. Last hand will be hand 69. Very nice. Straddle from Kyle. Action on Coach Mike. Suited ace 10. Does he raise or does he just call? We know he likes 10s. He just calls. Everybody just calling the 10. And we're going to go 6 ways to a flop. There goes Jeff checking again in the dark. Six ways to the flop. The best hand right now, the ace-10 of clubs. There's the ace. Middle pair for Danny Paco Jeff. Gut shot for Boxing Coach. Bottom pair for Josh. Small bet. Coach Mike betting 20, a third of the pot. He's going to get looked up by the Boxing Coach. Josh does the same with bottom pair. Jeff with a gut shot needed an 8. So 2 players on gut shots. One of them needed an 8, and the other one needed a tray. Danny Baco, Jeff calling. So started the hand with 6 players, and we still have 6 players. There's the gut shot. That's a straight flush draw for the boxing coach. He's in at 69% now. So he's winning the hand. Oh, yeah, he's winning the hand here. But Coach Mike now has a flush draw. And Coach Mike is going to put out a big bet here. I actually like just a call here from the boxing coach. You have the nuts and the redraw. And he agrees with me. He thinks he wants to see a club. 6 of clubs works, I guess. 6 of clubs would be pretty gross. That last card might save Coach Mike, as it is a very coordinated board now. Any deuce making a straight, any 6 making a straight. And it goes check, check. So the boxing coach with the straight. The boxing coach beating the boxing promoter. So it looks like we have a fan of the dealer in the chat. His name's Enrique, and of course the common nickname in Spanish for people named Enrique is Quique. As a matter of fact, there's a Quique Hernandez that plays baseball. Played for the Dodgers, then played for the Red Sox, and he was back for the Dodgers the last time I checked. Coach Mike with the straddle. Boxing coach with the suited connectors. Worked for him well last hand. Calls the $10 straddle. Danny Paco Jeff making the call out of the small blind. Has the best hand right now with the king. And he's going to hit a king. Ace on the board. Might go check all the way around. Actually, Coach Mike checking out. So now we're heads up. And now the boxing coach is drawn dead. And is it going to go check, check all the way? No. There's a $20 bet on the river. $20 bet on the river. All right, so 2 more hands to go. I think we're going to see somebody lose all their chips in the next 2 hands. Not promising, just based upon events in the past. Jeff actually is not in his seat. So 7-handed. Under the gun straddle to 6, I believe. To 7. Danny Paco Jeff just calling with the ace. Kyle trying to dig himself out of the hole, calling with the 8-4. And All In Joe checks his option with the suited connectors. Five ways to the flop. Top pair for Kyle. Top pair for All In Joe. Probably be a chop pot if it goes to the river. But All In Joe has the best kicker right now. And he's going to fold. Basically a pot-sized bet from Kyle. Betting 35 into 35. All right, hand 69, last hand of the night. As I said, if you still haven't hit that like button, make sure you do take care of that. That's how I get paid. Next stream on this channel, which is TCH Live Poker, will probably be a tournament from Dallas tomorrow. The next time that we stream will be on the secondary channel. We will be streaming on Wednesday. And the secondary channel is called Texas Card House. 3 different words. Of course, this channel you're watching, this is not called Texas Card House. This is TCH Live Poker. TCH Live Poker is the name of the channel. So Kyle put it on the button strat. I believe that is $10. Coach Mike calling with the K9. All in Joe doing the same. Boxing coach with the Jack 10. Johnny Ringo, I think, was late to his seat. His hand got mucked. I think Jeff was on his phone. Looks like we're going to be going 6 ways. Final flop of the night. Two pair for Kyle. Does he raise here? I like a raise. Yeah, looks like he's trying to trap here. You can see even the Jack 10 calling here. And the King 9. So 10 on the turn. The boxing coach hitting top pair might get him in trouble. Down in the front, Jeff. Down in the front, Jeff. It's almost like he heard me. And I said it on the flop. I'll say it here. I like a raise from Kyle. You can see 2 players hitting the 10. Does Kyle go all in here? Kyle has 147. You can see there's 170 in the pot. Yeah, I like an all-in from Kyle. Kyle disagrees. So to the river we go. Kyle going to have to avoid a 5, a 10, a jack, or a 9. He will avoid that 72% of the time. Any 7 makes a straight. Nobody has a 7, but it is a very scary board to get any value from. And I think everybody's going to check it down. Exactly a $200 pot. And now Kyle goes all in. And with any 7 making a straight, he might not get any action. Down in the front, Jeffrey. Man, he did hear me. So Danny, Paco, Jeff asking for a count. I believe it is 117. And it is actually more than 117. It is 140, no, 130, 138, 136. Oh, is he going to make the call here? Going to try to be a hero the last hand of the stream? And yes, indeed, he's going to try to be a hero. And Kyle will show him the 2 pair. And Kyle, even though he won the last pot, I think he's going to wind up the biggest non-winner of the stream. So we will see. We will see the final tally. Doneto cashing out about 1,600 about 20 minutes ago. And it's going to be, once they reset it here, there's the reset, and there are the final tally for the night. We got the boxing coach. He was the last player to sit down. Last player to sit down, and he's going to wind up with the biggest profit at the end of the stream. Kyle making back some, but wasn't able to make it back all. All in Joe, 400. And that'll